you to every one of you that has participated and come here today. I'm Denisa Baraktari, Project Business Developer Manager of PMable.
And I'm Eneashini Potoko, legal expert at Value Provider Group. Today, you will be with us through discussions and sessions. Thank you.
Well, first and foremost, this event wouldn't be possible without our experts and our partners. In fact, following the incredible success of the Tirana Project Management Conference we had on 13th November last year, we knew it was the time to expand our vision. This event marks the beginning of a new chapter, one where project management professionals in Kosovo come together, exchange ideas, and it's time to start a project management community all together. Well, our goal is not just to host another conference, but to establish a tradition, making this an annual gathering that continuously elevates professionals and its impact in the region. It's time also to thank all of our partners. This event wouldn't be possible without the help of our partners, and first and foremost, I would like to thank Lila for hosting us and for making and providing us with the space of Innovation Centre Kosovo. And also, I would like to give a gratitude to P3 Express representatives and Certain Global. Thank you for joining us, and in fact, thank you for helping and supporting us since day one and since PMable got created. Because in fact, when PMable got created, it was since the beginning or of a meeting that Frank and Eldisa had here at Innovation Centre of Kosovo, and there they say great minds come together. That's why these two great minds created PMable. So thank you. It's been almost 3 years that PMable got created, and we have just started. It's just the beginning. Also, a special appreciation goes to Value Provider Group, Confindustria Albania, and all of our collaborators who share our vision for advancing project management in Kosovo and beyond the boundaries.
So, as you already know, today we are here to talk about youth, innovation, and leadership, redefining project management, a theme that actually reflects the transformation of our industry and the rising role of young leaders in shaping the future of project management. So, first and foremost, let's welcome our host, Lila, to have his welcoming words.
Let's welcome.
Okay, Mirmanjas. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the Innovation Centre Kosovo, we would like to welcome you at the first edition of the PM conference in Pristina. Welcome to the Kosovo's home of innovation, ICT, and startups. Our center this year marks the 13th birthday, so it's one of the oldest and the biggest one in the region of the Western Balkans in terms of the community and impact. I would also like to thank the PMable team for initiating this idea, and also really glad to see some familiar faces, the community leaders, industry leaders, some creme de la creme community members, and we look forward to expanding our PM activities in Kosovo, because this time these are something, this is a new field, and I think that a lot of companies really need this within their scope of work. I'm also really glad to see again our Irish Belgian friend Frank, whose fault is why we are here today, first of all, because Frank was the first one to initiate the PM P3 Express training 2 years ago at ICK with the help of the EBRD, and that's why we know each other with Disa, Denisa, and the rest of the team. I would also like to invite on stage probably my colleague from management, Dorina, who will briefly just tell you what ICK has been doing in the last 13 years. It's a great legacy and great impact coming from our community. Just before we kick off with the keynote speakers, I'm passing the mic to Dorina.
Thank you, Mirmanjas. Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to have you here. My name is Dorina, and I run the incubator department, but also the project management department. At ICK, projects are not just deliverables. We tend to support an individual and make impact through different projects with startups, with training, with skills. And I'm so glad that the theme for this conference is also youth and leadership, so it's very good to create synergies among all of us, and why not collaborations in the future. We say that people are very difficult to manage, and projects is actually managing people. Unfortunately, they will not get managed by themselves. So what we try to do, as I mentioned, also with youth, is to create opportunities for them, to connect them to digitalization. We had different projects and donors. We worked with GIZ, with Swedish International Cooperation Agency, who was our core supporter, different embassies, USAID, and EU office here. So a lot of projects have been delivered by SEK, and we will continue to deliver more projects that will support youth, startups, and individuals who have a business idea and who want to upgrade their skills. So I will not take more time. Thank you again, and I hope you have a great time here during this conference. In anything else you need from us, just reach to us and we can provide every help that you need.
And remember, this is the only day of the week without train. So we are really lucky also to be on rooftop terrace during the day, so to get some fresh air and meet new people. So please use these opportunities on coffee breaks and lunch breaks to meet each other. Just exchange your business cards and let's make some new friends and partners. Thank you so much.
Yes, because we said that most importantly, we want to expand our project management community. That's why we need to create our community between professionals and experts. Now it's time to discover where project management in Kosovo is headed. In fact, Eldisa Tirogo, the CEO of PMable and the international expansion of Value Provider Group, has prepared a research done by Value Provider Group related to the unveiling key insights, trends, and the future of the field of project management in the Kosovo region. So, Eldisa, the mic is yours, and it's your time to shine.
Thank you very much. Okay. Hello, everyone. So it's actually a goal, and I am obliged to shine, so please make it happen. But at least we brought sun. So yesterday and all the week, as Spen told me, because I didn't check for the next days, to be honest, it will be the whole week raining, but today it's sun. So I start to shine, Denisa. Just an honest detail. I just will present the research, done not by me, of course. Is done from my colleagues of Research, Marketing and Projects Department, and I have to thank Leonora and Stacy for all the work done, because all the good works are done from a good team. So first, I would require from you a big applause for these 21 years girls, Enea and Denisa, that has taken the challenge of moderating a conference, and not a simple conference, but a project management conference. And this is actually to be valuable for. And what actually we will present today is youth, innovation, and leadership. But we should give the floor to the youth, because they can show up themselves. So 24% of projects fail because of poor project management skills. This is a very good, but very a good data to show up how important are the project management skills. And only 23% of the companies invest on project management. And this is a very sad as well number to show up. Our goal is to create the community of project managers in Albania and in Kosovo. From our experience in these 10 years for myself, but 3 years that we actually created PMable, we have seen that we are able to introduce ourselves to international companies as project managers. We can do that. We have a proven experience. I don't tell it only for myself, but I think that all of you are working with project management, so we are able to present in international stages ourselves. And this is the moment that we can rise each other's together. So we should create the community. We are missing a community in Albania and in Kosovo. So this is the moment that we can show up how we can improve our management skills, of course. So the reason behind this research is, you know, that in project management, it is important and in research to understand which is the AZs, which is the actual situation, and which is the goal, because without understanding the state of art, we cannot go to the goal. So what is shown actually in project management state of art in Kosovo, and where are we headed? Okay, as project managers, of course, we should give some credits to ourselves. So how we present ourselves is, yes, operations keeps the lights on, strategy provides the light at the end of the tunnel, but it's project management who is actually moving the train. So how important is project management today is because of the data that I showed up before. So 24/7 of projects fails because of not skills enough. It's actually important to understand how important is actually the skills of project management. Of course, today the project manager should be not the person who actually is managing the project, but managing the changes. It's very important to manage the changes. In the situation, especially that we are living today, the future of project management will be half strategist, half psychologist, and half technologist. So, yes, Kosovo as well as Albania is stepping up in the project management, but is still a lot of to do. As well with the APMA now in Kosovo, we should think if all the organizations now, are we ready to rise the standards? I don't know how many of you know that the IPMA actually today is in Kosovo as International Project Management Association. And Professor Skander as well is, I think, is part or, yeah? Yes, is part of the association. So we have the seed already planted. Now we should grow up these seeds with the community that we will create together. Of course, with the collaboration that we should create together. These are actually the methodologies that in project management are gaining tractions, but still the adoption is not consistent. Prince2, PMable Guide, Agile, and of course, Filter Express. So the big question is, how do we take project management in Kosovo to the next level? And this is why we are here today, to bring the project management in this next level, to create the community of project managers that can manage skills, but of course can manage changes. And we are living in a world that is so changing fast. I think we agree on that. Well, this is a trend, actually, the certification demand, but in this actually development, these are the roadblocks. And especially in the roadblocks, this is the worst, the old habits that can never die. The resistance, because we are used to do that in that way, and that cannot be changed. But now we are in the moment that can actually make this change. We will, of course, share the whole research with you. This is just to bring some insights, some data, to ice break together the topic. And I'm very actually glad that an Irish-Belgian guy met us, two Albanians, me, Espen, 3 years ago. And I think that we have already started to create the community. We have already started to create the community 3 years ago. Now our goal is to bring this community in a high level, and especially giving trust and opportunities and skills to the youngest, but of course working a lot with partnerships together. Okay, I will thank you for your being present here, and I will leave my two colleagues to guide us in a very interesting and
authentic way.
authentic way, yes. Our actually keyword is authenticity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Elisa, for your presentation. And now it's time to officially kick off our first session. As you can see by the agenda, it's time to introduce P3 Express. You already heard this term and this word, so it's time to expand it more a little. P3 Express, a simple yet powerful project management methodology. We have 3 outstanding speakers that will introduce it to us, and they will walk us through its principle, real-world applications, and also the growing community. It's time to welcome our first expert, Nader Kayrad, with 14 years of experience in project management in different industries, and the author of more than 50 books related to project management topic, mostly, who will introduce us to the core principles of P3 Express. Nader, the time is yours.
Thanks, everyone. There was a clicker here before.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, so hello, everyone. I'm very happy to be with you here. It's my first time here in Kosovo, and so far I didn't have the chance to see the city, so I'm hoping to do it after the conference, but we'll see. So I've been working for about 28 years with projects. I started as a project planner in construction projects. And then I was moved to process plan projects and IT projects a little bit. And then I moved from planning and control into project management. And that's the exact, really precise way I'm dividing my time right now. Contributing to the standards, that's what I really love to do. Writing books and articles, making e-learning courses, and giving presentations like what I'm doing right now. For the books, there are about 50 of them, but actually most of them are not about project management. They are about different pieces of software, Excel, AutoCAD, and so on. Otherwise, you can't write 50 books about project management. And for contributions, I've been a core team member to P3 Express, Micro P3 Express, P5 Express, Noop, and the 7th edition of the PMable Guide, the previous one. Now the new version is coming. And I've been a consultant to Prince2, Prince2 Agile, and MSP. So, what we are thinking about here is mainly about, you can call them tools that solve problems for us, okay? Think about something like a saw that you will use with wood. It's a tool with one function that solves some of the problems you may have. Some of you may not have that type of problem because you don't work with wood, you don't do things yourself. Some others have. Or a hammer. It solves a different type of problem, right? And then when you think about the hammer, some of the hammers have that thing on the back where you can pull out nails, right? So that type of hammer has 2 functions instead of 1. 2 functions are combined in one tool, so it can solve more problems for you. That's a concept we have, combining different functions or features in one tool. And a lot of times it makes sense. But when are we going to stop that? How many features do we want to have? How many functions do we want to have in our tool? If you have the mentality to maximize it, you will run into problems. This thing is real, by the way. It's made, it's not useful, of course. It's a collector's items. It was made in 2006, and there are 141 functions in it. And the fact that you have so many functions is what makes it unusable. So there is a point where we reach the maximum utility, which is not one function, it's more than one function, but we've passed that point and caused problems here. Now, think about those 141 functions, and I'm trusting the manufacturer, I never counted. If you draw the usefulness of those functions for yourself or for a type of person, the type of person who has similar problems to you, okay, who works in the same type of job, you will have different amounts of usefulness. Some of them are probably never going to be used, and some of them will be used a lot, maybe the scissors or something. Now imagine that you will sort them based on their usefulness. And now, if you're the type of person who would go and tries to pick the fewest possible of those features that give you the most utility, that can solve most of your problems, then what you have created is a minimalist system. That's what minimalism means. So at this point, I'm trying to give you an idea of the concept of minimalism, which is key for us. It's about focusing on the essentials of the problems you want to solve, whatever your domain is. If you focus on these things, you have a minimalist system. But if you try to cover as many of the features as possible, then you have a maximalist system. And unfortunately, the maximalist systems don't work very well because, well, you saw the picture. Those extras are usually distractions. We start by thinking that, well, sometime, someday, in a very special case, they may solve a problem for me. But their existence causes problems for you every day, for the hope of solving a problem in the future. So, when we try to be minimalist, what we get out of it is that what we create becomes easier to learn, easier to use, and easier to teach. That's a really simple output of this. And when you think about project management, that's really key. And teaching is not limited to trainers. As a project manager, you always have to teach people. You have to tell your team members how the project works. You have to tell your managers, higher managers in your organization how it works. You have to be able to explain it to your customer. And when you can do it well, those people will work better with you, and your project will go better. So, these are the 5 levels of management in the project ecosystem defined by OMIMO, and a similar thing exists in most other systems as well. It starts with portfolio management on the top. That's where we select projects. You have lots of projects you can do, you have many ideas, but you don't have unlimited resources. You cannot work on all of those at the same time. So you want to pick the best ones. What is best? That can be complicated. And also, you won't go, for example, for the highest return on investment alone, because you also need to balance them. Balance between the short-term and the long-term return. Balance for risk. Balance in different types of domains that you want to cover. For example, your company may work both in the private sector and public sector. You want to have both of them because they have different risks. Now, you decide to have 30%, for example, private sector projects and 70% public sector. That's how you want to balance it. And when you want to decide here what would be your next project, that's the type of thing you will have in mind. That is portfolio management, which is always necessary. What I want to say here is that project management alone is not enough for the success of an organization. You need to have all of these things. Program management is about managing a number of projects that work together for a single goal. Each of them will have its own project management, and then you will have a program management layer above all of them to align them with each other. Project management, that's for a single project, to make sure that you will create the output that is expected. Technical management, that's for team leaders and groups of people working in the project. And finally, we have task management for individuals, what each and every one of you have in one form or the other. Maybe it's not a structure, but you still have it there. If you want to be really successful, you need to pay attention to all of these things. And it's not easy. It's not easy for one organization to create systems for all of these, or for one person to do that. It takes a lot of trial and error. You basically don't have enough money and time to do that. That's why you have to use the existing systems, and there are many of them. These are some of the more famous systems you can use in all those different layers. And I've color-coded them based on which one is minimalist and which one is maximalist, which was the topic for the previous section. Now, here, this is our area in Omimo. These are the systems that we have. And the main point, the main reason that Omimo was born was that most of the systems in the project management layer were not minimalist, and people had difficulty implementing them. We decided that it's time to stop blaming people for not being able to implement project management systems and start creating something that they can really use. That's how P3 Express was born. P3 Express is for small, medium, and large projects, but not micro projects and not mega projects. For micro projects, we have a different system here, Micro P3 Express. And then Noop, that's a series of principles you can use to improve your project management system, whatever it is. It can be Prince2, the PMable guide, or anything else. All of these are created in an organization called Omimo. And Omimo stands for Open Minimalist Modules. Being open is all about freedom. It's about respecting the freedoms of people. It means that everything created in Omimo is non-proprietary. They are libre. In English, the word that's used is free, but the problem is free is that you use it both for free of charge and free as in freedom. In many other languages, it's not like that. How is it in Albanian? Do you have two words or one word? Two. So what's the word for free as in freedom? Ilir. Okay. Ilir. So everything in Omimo, such as P3 Express, is Ilir. It's freedom respecting. And it's the way it is freedom respecting is defined by the license it uses. It's Creative Commons attribution. It's an international license. And what's important with this license is that whenever you give rights to the user with this license, they become permanent. Legally, they cannot be taken back. And that's really essential, because without that, someone can come and say, okay, what I've created is freedom respecting, you can do whatever you want with it, and then you go and invest on it, because when you want to provide services with it, you have to invest your time to create the capability to provide those services. And then that imaginary organization can come back to you after 6 months or a year and say, okay, now you have to pay me a lot of money, or do these crazy things if you want to use my material. That's not possible when something uses Creative Commons, because the rights are given permanently. And then you can see it in many different things. For example, it's really privacy respecting. When you go to the website, you will have a link to download the manual, for example, and people are sometimes shocked, because when they click on that, it actually downloads the manual. People are getting used to getting a really big form and having to add all different types of private information in order to download something, and then they will be bombarded with a spam email. It's not like that. You click, you will get it. There's also no tracking on the website, not at all. It's just the website is only a place to serve the users and no one else. The other aspect is inclusion in many different ways. So for example, in P3 Express, at the end I will give you the links. There's this game that you can play after you read the manual, And it's an interactive story. You will play the role of a project manager. You will go through the story of a project. And at each point, you will have to make a decision. Based on the decision you make, you will go through different paths in that story. And each path gives you a different experience. And those experiences are how you will learn more about P3 Express. It has worked very well. Now, that's a story, right? And we have different characters in the story. We have 20 of them, actually. Think about the typical characters that you see in the stories and their names. We spend many days selecting names for those characters. Those 20 names come from all different places in the world. They represent different people in the world. The idea is to include everyone. And all the names are unisex. Names used both for male and female. And the text, the English text, is written in a way that it doesn't imply gender for anyone. Because everyone should be included here. All of these, P3 Express and the rest of them, belong to everyone in the world. It's not like many things that for them, the US is the first-class citizen, Europe is the second-class citizen, and the rest of the world is the third-class citizen. It's not like that at all. And because of all of these things, we have a really good community. It's a relatively large community. It's comparable with the oldest project management communities, comparing with the biggest ones that are more than or about 50 years old. It's 1/3 of them in less than 10 years, which is really great. And those people are really active, more active than other communities. And it makes sense because when they are contributing, they are not contributing to something that someone else owns, but they are contributing something that they own. They really, really own it. And they are really diverse in many different ways. So in most communities, we only have people coming from IT projects or construction projects. But here we have many people who are working in humanitarian projects, which is absolutely amazing. We are always proud of it. Or people working in artistic projects, cultural projects. And that diversity is really helpful because each of them brings their own experiences, a new perspective to P3 Express, and it helps it grow much faster for everyone. It becomes more effective even for someone who works in IT projects or construction projects. And for example, when you go to the website, you would see that P3 Express is available in about 30 languages. That's, of course, including Albanian. And that's all done by this community. Really, really wonderful community. So, you see that these are styled differently. It's because they are not created yet. Now we have these 3 modules in project management and P5 Express for portfolio management. P4 Express is the one we are working on right now. It will come later. And then we will work on P1 and P2 Express. And then when we are done with all of those things, we will have a number of modules that apply to more than one layer. Things like decision-making, critical thinking, conflict resolution, contract management, and so on. So there's a lot to do. And if you feel enthusiastic about it, you're always very welcome to join the community and help in anything that makes sense to you in this whole package. It belongs to you, and you're welcome in it. This is P3 Express, which is one of the modules. You remember we have all these modules. So P3 Express is for project management, and now I'm going to give you a really, really short overview of how it works. And then you can go to the website to get more details, or you can have courses with PMable. They offer P3 Express courses. They are accredited trainers. So in this process, each of these nodes is a project management activity. Each of them has a defined goal, a purpose, and a way of doing things. And they are in different groups. You see them? Each of them is an activity group. The way it works is that we start with project initiation. That's at the beginning. That's when we don't even know whether or not we want to run the project. We will create a team and design the relationships inside the team. And at this point, it's not necessarily the whole team, but the key team members. Then these people will work together to create a common understanding for the project. That's another way of saying plan the project. It will be a high-level plan. Then we will use that plan to decide whether or not we want to run the project. That's basically what we do here. We have two main goals for project initiation. One is to see whether or not it's a good idea to run the project, and the other one is to create a foundation for running the project in case we decide to do so. The last thing we do is what we call focused communication, and we have focused communications at the end of each activity group, except for daily. For each focused communication, we have a certain type of content and a defined recipient. And that's the minimum communications you really need to have in your projects. In here, what we do is that we tell everyone in the organization that we're going to run the project. And it may sound simple, but we usually fail in doing so. There are many people in many organizations who don't know what's happening. When you do it properly, which is a very simple communication, a lot of times someone will come to you from one corner of the organization and say, oh, wait, what you're going to do will cause problems for us in what we have to do in 6 months from now or 1 year from now. During this planning activity, you have to identify those people. But in reality, a lot of times we miss a few people. That focused communication helps. We have lots of double checking in proper project management, and it's an example of that. So that's project initiation at the beginning. And at the end, we have project closure. That's where we double check everything to make sure everything is okay. We will tie up the loose ends. We will celebrate, which is important. That's investment on people for the future projects. And of course, we will have focused communication. This time, we will tell everyone in the organization that we're going to close the project. Now, the same way we have initiation and closure for the whole project, we will have initiation and closure for our monthly cycles. We run the project 1 month at a time. In monthly initiation, we will revise our plans and add details for the upcoming months. And then we will check again whether or not it still makes sense to continue the project. Because sometimes we start the work, it makes sense at the beginning, but as we go on with the project, something changes in the market, so it doesn't make sense anymore. It's a good idea to stop it. Or maybe even you learn more, nothing has changed, but because you've learned more about the project, you realize that it doesn't make sense anymore. Because, for example, it's harder to do the project, it takes more resources. And at the end, you have a focused communication. This one is not for everyone in the organization, it's only for the team members. You will tell them what's supposed to be happening in the upcoming months. Something else we have before the focused communication here is peer review. We have it here and also in project initiation and project closure. It's one of the things that's very important for P3 experts, and people had very good experiences with it. What you do is that you will bring one of the people outside the project, someone in your organization who doesn't work in the project, to help you by taking a look at what you've done. And it's really great because a lot of times you have mistakes, but you don't see them, not because you don't know, sometimes you don't know, but sometimes you don't see them because you are too close to the work. When you bring a fresh set of eyes, they can find some of those mistakes. That's a great thing. That's the first purpose we have here for peer reviews. The second one is that when that person looks at what you've done, they learn from you. And when they give you suggestions, you learn from them. That's also really great. So everyone in the organization is learning from each other, the project managers, not everyone. So because of these two, something that really happens with both of them is to keep changing the person you bring to peer review. If possible, we want to bring a new person each time. Okay, we have a few special techniques, if you will, like that in P3 Express. That was about monthly initiation. For monthly closure, we will evaluate the satisfaction of team members and customer. We do it every month, normally with anonymous surveys. The goal is, if there's a problem, we want to find out as soon as possible before they pile up, because that's just easier to fix. We can ignore them, but that becomes harder, and sooner or later, we are the ones who are supposed to fix them. So we do that to make things easier. Everything we do here is done to make things easier for us, less expensive. That's the problem some people have. Some people think that a structured project management make things expensive or difficult. But if that makes things expensive and difficult, it means that you're not doing it right. When done right, that's the opposite. Okay, so we will do the evaluation, and then based on that, we will design some improvement plans. And of course, the focused communication, as always. And this focused communication is focused on these evaluations. Then during the months, we have weekly activities. In those weekly activities, we will measure progress, and based on the deviations we discover, we will have some fixes. We will decide how to fix those deviations. For the daily activities, there are two things we have to do. We have to be ready to do those things every day. One is related to deliverables. When something is finished, we want to make sure that it's really complete and nothing is missing. And also, we want to limit the amount of work done in parallel, because that's a bad habit many of us have. That reduces productivity. So instead of working on too many items at the same time, we want to focus on an optimum number of them, finish them, and then go to the next. So that's one thing. And the other thing is working with the follow-up items. Follow-up item is P3 Express term that refers to risks, issues, change requests, improvement plans, and lessons learned. In P3 Express, they are in the same place, and we have the same process for managing them. In here, at the end of project closure, our project is finished. It's done, over. But we still have a post-project management cycle. In an ideal world, you will have a structured portfolio management system to do these things, but because we know that most organizations don't have it, we've designed it here. When you have a portfolio management system, we have some guidance on how to connect the two of them together. There's also guidance on who has to be responsible for these things. So here, we will measure benefits realized from the product of the project, and based on that, we will design actions or projects that can improve them. So for example, think of this conference. It's something that will be finished by the end of the day, and then Eldisa and the rest of the team, they can come back to this every, for example, 2 or 3 months and see, what did it do for us? And then at one point, they may see that, okay, we have had some benefits here based on the drivers they have in their organization, but maybe we can have this interview with that magazine about the conference we had before. It's a small activity when you compare it to the conference. It's not a project, it's just a small activity. But by doing that, we can really increase our benefits by 20%. That's a good thing to do, let's do it. That's the type of thing we do here in post-project management. Or for example, remember I told you that the manual is available in 30 languages, right? And when I say benefit, it's not money. It's any type of advantage you consider. Most of the volunteers who work here, the benefit they have in mind is creating awareness in their own communities. So we have a post-project management, and every quarter we release a report for everyone that tells them about the performance of those translations. Right now, about 80% of the people who read P3 Express read it in a language other than English, which is really, really high. And it's a really good achievement for those people. And the last thing we do here is focused communication. In that focused communication, we tell people about the things that have happened. The report that I told you, that's an example of that focused communication. Okay, that was it. That was my talk. Thank you. Thank you. If you like, you can go to that page. You can find my contact information, my website, the articles I've written, my LinkedIn profile link. I'm relatively active on LinkedIn. We can talk there a lot. There's a copy of this slide deck, and you can use it for any purpose you want. Then you will find links to resources about P3 Express and some information about how to contribute. And hopefully we have some time for questions.
So, Nader, thank you for your presentation.
My pleasure.
And now it's time.
Thank you.
So now it's time for Q&A session. Do you have any questions or feedbacks regarding this topic?
The first one is the hardest.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Fationa. I'm the founder of Inside Solutions, and actually, you were mentioning that you've done some construction projects. We do have some construction projects for one of our clients, and sometimes it's just so messy, because the client could be messy on what he needs, and I just want to know your experience. What software did you use? How was it, the whole experience on construction projects?
Don't try to find a solution in software. Your solution is in the way you work. Try to find that. You can start with P3 Express. It's really easy to implement. And for example, something I didn't mention here is that in most systems, in maximalist systems, you have to start with customizing it for yourself. But in a minimalist system, you don't have to do that. You can start without customization and then customize it as you go on, which makes it really easy. Just focus on the method, and then when you see that you can really benefit from software, and not one piece of software, multiple pieces of software to facilitate something, then add it, see whether or not it works. If it works, keep it. If not, remove it. And go on like that until you have a perfect solution. But don't start with software. That almost never works.
Thank you, Fationa. Thank you, Nader.
Thank you. Thank you.
Do we have any other questions or feedbacks?
Yeah, I think we're done.
Perfect.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. So now, to showcase real-world implementation, we have Frank Turley, a PM implementation specialist, a project management author, speaker, and advisor with more than 16 years of experience in management, project management. He will walk us through P3 Express in action. So let's give a warm welcoming to Frank.
Thank you, thank you. It's good to be back. This is my third time in Kosovo, and I've never eaten as much meat as when I come to Kosovo. A big thanks to the two hosts for the day. You're fantastic. You're really
Thank
great. Big clap. Good.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
So, how many project managers do we have in the room? Active project managers right now? Okay, great. How many of you want to step into project management and do project management in the future? Great, okay, that's good. It's good to know, it's good to get an idea of what's in the audience. One thing as well, which is said by Shabab, was that you have to network with each other. So make use, we're trying to form a good community here in Kosovo. So take time to shake hands with each other. Don't be afraid. The person that you introduce yourself is unafraid to talk to you, so why don't you say hi to them as well? In that way, we build up a good community. Now, there's one thing I like to do, is I like to have the #1 spot for selfies whenever I do a talk like this. So I will chase you, each one of you today, and I will have the most selfies. Please don't try to beat me, because I get very upset. The last thing, I need some help from the audience. So let's divide the audience right in the center. I'm going right through your body right now, please excuse me. On this side, I see you as a more positive side. So when I do this, can you all say yes? Yes. Again? Yes. Okay, good. On this side, when I do this, please say no. 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 Again? No. Fantastic, good. Now, this side of the room, aren't they the most beautiful, fantastic people you've ever met in the whole world? Yes. Great. That worked out very well. That worked fantastic. And the last presentation, it was really bad, wasn't it? No. Correct, it was super. Okay, fantastic. Good. So, 30% of my time I can give up for free, which is fantastic. It's a great comfort for me to be able to do this. And I spend many times working with non-profit organizations like here. So non-profit or global good organizations or NGOs. And that's what I want you to do, is give you my feedback when working with these. And the way I will approach it is I will give you some problems that they have and then how I help them to solve it. Okay, are you ready? Fantastic. Great. Okay. So these are the 3 problems which I will go through. The most observed problems are people are using an ad hoc approach, upfront tailoring, and they're unable to mature in the way that they are working. So first of all, ad hoc approach. So what does that mean, actually? That means that when they have an environment, they mostly seem to have a chaotic environment, because everyone is using a different approach to do project management. And that's bad, okay? Is that bad? Yes. Fantastic, yes. And this is very difficult for new project managers, because when they come in to an organization, and some of these organizations have big turnovers of people, depending on how many subsidies they get. So when they come into the new environment and they want to work and do a good job, they are stuck, you know? And that's bad, okay? And the last one then is they have total lack of confidence in their approach. Even when you ask these people what do they do, the reaction is project management. They're not proud of what they do, or project coordinator. And that's terrible. We are project managers. We've got to lift our head, stand up, and project that we are doing this job. Okay, so this is not very, very good for us. Next one is upfront tailoring. So tailoring, I'm going to continue with what Nader was talking about earlier on when he was talking about minimalistic and maximalistic. So when most people do trainings, and when they go for trainings, they like to go for a maximalist approach. So when they do that, then they have to tailor that to suit their organization. Does that work very well? No, it doesn't. You guys are fantastic. You know all of this up front. No, it doesn't work, because upfront tailoring is really hard. It takes time. So let me tell you why it takes time. It's extremely difficult and expensive to do. It takes a long time to do it as well, to get it right. You need good investment, lots of management support and lots of time. And it would be great if you have a PMO support as well in your organization, where you spend time and they can support all the project managers with processes and procedures. But not many companies have that yet. How many organizations today have a PMO or something like a PMO to support their projects? No. It's okay, it's okay. I get thirsty when I talk. Okay, just a person. Okay, good. I hope that person is a nice person then. And if they do manage, after a couple of years with lots of investment, to actually do and tailor it correctly, if it does succeed, they're going to end up with a very minimalist system which has all the essential components that they need to run their projects. But do they really need to do this? No, there is a better way. Okay, great, fantastic. And the last one is no PM maturity. So, project management, when we get something running, then if everybody's using the same thing, gradually we can improve and keep improving all of the time. And here is where project managers feel very alone, because they're basically using a different approach than most other people. They find it hard to reach out to other people, and that makes it a little bit more difficult. And this is probably the terrible one. People will leave this environment. They'll go, I'm not comfortable here. I'm not happy. I don't get satisfaction in working. And this is bad. Isn't this bad? Yes. Fantastic. Yes, good. It is very bad. So now I'm going to tell you how I approach this using P3 Express, of course, to do this. So let's go through the first one ad hoc first. So with Kiosk, well, with P3 Express, we give them a step-by-step approach to do project management. So it's very easy to follow, it's easy to learn, it's easy to use and easy to teach. And that's important for people getting into project management or trying to have a common process when they're doing projects. Difficult for new PMs? Well, it's not, because when they walk in and they ask, what's your way of doing projects here? And how many thousands of pages do I have to read in order to figure out how these things work? Because we have a minimalist approach to project management, our manual is just 45 pages. So people can read this, absorb it. It's written in simple English, if you're reading English, or simple Albanian as well. So it's great for new project managers. And so imagine the confidence that a person will have when they come into an organization and they see there's a path which is easy to absorb to get them up and running. They can start bringing value to the organization very, very quickly. That's key. And the last one then is this brings increased confidence to everybody. You see people. So when you ask a person what they do, they go, I am a project manager, or I am a project coordinator. And that's what we want to achieve. Is that a good idea? Yes. Fantastic. Good, good. And the last one is, oops, I'm going here. The last one is upfront tailoring. One second. Yes, okay. With maturity model, what we need to do is to have a base that we can continue to improve. Now, because P3 Express, it can be used, what I like to say, off the shelf. Because it's so minimalistic, you can actually take it off the shelf and start using it immediately without tailoring. Next one is project managers feel alone. That was a problem. Nader already mentioned something called peer review. So just a reminder of what that is. So I'm running a project, I'm beginning a project, and I want to check it off with somebody else. Who do I ask? I ask another project manager to come with me for 20 minutes or 30 minutes or 40 minutes for a coffee. And I say, this is my project, what do you think? And what happens then? There is a two-way learning conversation here, because they will spot something which I've done, and they'll go like, wow, I'm going to use that in my next project. And then they'll also spot something that you can improve. So what we're doing there is actually we're finding problems that we haven't met yet, and we're solving them up front. And that's great. Lessons learned are fantastic, but not making the problem or not making the error and solving it up front is even better. So peer reviews, and it's a built-in technique into P3 Express, and it works very, very well. And if all that happens, people will stay in the organization because they are growing the organization. They're becoming better at project management, they're taking on bigger projects, or they're taking on more projects, and that's what we want. We want to develop a structure for people to grow within the organization as project managers. Is that a good idea? Yes. Fantastic. You guys are very positive. Okay. So let's summarize. So, ad hoc approach. Well, forget this. It's a bad idea. Let's go for a step-by-step approach, a common approach in project management. We take something like P3 Express, the minimalist approach, off the shelf and we start using it. There's no need for upfront tailoring because we can use it immediately. And then after 6 months and 12 months, we can then make small improvements to continue integrating or using P3 Express within our organization. And we give ourselves something to grow on, where we grow together in the organization. And that's it. That's my whole point of what I wanted to get you across today. And the feedback from the NGOs I've been able to work with has been very good. So, thank you. Was my presentation good? Yes. Was it bad? No. Fantastic. Thank you very much.
I think it was fantastic.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, yeah, we cannot leave you yet until we ask the audience, do you have any question to ask Frank? Does any one of you?
Or was I perfect?
Yes. You love them speechless.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Great.
Great.
I'd like to give some examples, real examples.
Please.
Which is a real project. Then P3 Express has significantly enhanced the outcomes. Can we bring an example or an example of a project by using P3 Express that has actually added value in the outcomes?
Well, there was a project once I worked on, it was a project in Kenya done by a large organization in Kenya, and they were supposed to train 10,000 people, and they had a bigger problem with the whole communication and getting the right people on board. They just didn't have the knowledge or the structure to do it. So just by actually explaining the different steps of P3 Express, where we bring in people, how we recognize the key people first, how we engage with people. There's something that's done at the end of the month as well. It's where we look for feedback from the stakeholders so we keep them in the loop, because most project managers, they're afraid to ask for feedback because they're afraid to be seen making mistakes. And we say, no, that's the opposite. You must ask for feedback on a regular basis, be consistent with this, and make small improvements each time. So that helped a lot. The project was not going very well, and then after it only took about 2 months, and we started to get the results that we wanted. Thanks for the question, Adisa. Great. Please.
Hi. Just wanted to ask, what is one reason, or more than one reasons, that the projects fail?
Oh, there are many reasons.
One of the main
Let's start with
ones.
some of the activities in P3 Express. The first activity is appoint the sponsor. So if you have a sponsor that's busy, or just being given the task but doesn't actually communicate with the project manager, that's one reason. Second activity is appoint the project manager. If you have a project manager that doesn't have a framework to follow or doesn't know what to do, that's another reason. The third activity is appoint the key stakeholders in the organization. This answer could take an hour, so just relax and I'll go through it. But I can go through this. I'll be happy to have a coffee with you later and a selfie and we can discuss it. Are you happy with the answer?
I am.
You're so ungrateful. Okay, Great. Thank you. Are you all happy?
Yes,
Great.
more than happy. Honored to have you. Now we welcome Alexander Pattyn, the co-founder of Certain Global. We talked about community, so let's put it in a real example, real life example. And Certain Global, in fact, is an organization specializing in managing professional certification programs. And Alexander will talk about P3 Express community and its impact worldwide.
Hello everyone. It's really nice to be here. I think I've been now 24 hours in Kosovo and I really like it so far. My name is Alexander Pattyn and I'm from the magical kingdom of Belgium, the land of beer, chocolate and rain. And I brought one of them. Well, it's actually arriving tomorrow, so be ready for the rain. And here today to talk about, well, not project management, a life skill. We'll end with that, so if I can have the clicker, then we'll talk about the P3 Express community. The clicker is not really working as well. Okay, so I'm talking about the P3 Express community. Now, before we do that, it's important to understand that P3 Express is backed up by an organization, as Nader mentioned, called Omimo. Omimo is a non-commercial, volunteer-driven organization. So Nader and Frank, for example, they're part of the core team. They're volunteers, they're not paid, and they're not even allowed, because they're part of the core team, to have commercial benefits from P3 Express. So you will never find a paid training by the members of the core team. And that is, of course, to avoid conflicts of interest. Now, Omimo, as mentioned, has different management modules, all in the project management ecosystem. And today we're here to talk about P3 Express. So all the numbers that you'll see today are really about P3 Express alone. So who uses P3 Express? On average, every year is about 250,000 people that use P3 Express, the manual online in their projects and so on. Where? Well, in almost 100 different countries are P3 Express users located, so that's great, taking into account that we only started in 2014. And P3 Express is now translated in 29 different languages. These are all languages that are done by the community. So we don't have people paid to translate P3 Express. We have lots of volunteers who work together for mini projects and translate the content of Omimo, and in this case, P3 Express. Which is great because, as Nader already mentioned, we want to be inclusive. And many people and many resources are only available in English. Now, if you have to learn something in a language that's not your own, you will never feel 100% comfortable. It's why basic education in every country is, of course, in their local language. And the same happens for P3 Express. So it is available in every local language, and about 80% of all people who learn P3 Express use it in a language that is not English, which is, to me, actually a surprise. I thought it would be much more English. So who developed P3 Express? Because you see Frank and Nader here today, but of course, they're only a part of a very big team. They're in the core team, but in general, if we take into account who contributed to the development of P3 Express and where it is now, it's more than 250 different people from all over the world. And that's really key because we want to learn from people in all different situations, in all different industries, in different projects, different sizes. So it's really important to have a very diverse audience that creates a best practice. If you really want to be a best practice, you need to learn from more than one individual. Okay, so I want to take you back and talk a little bit about the history of P3 Express. I mentioned that we started around 2014, but I want you to talk you through the history of P3 Express and what actually started the P3 Express movement. So we have to rewind quite a bit to the big bang of P3 Express. And of course, we want to know what's at the source of the big bang of P3 Express. For that, it's in 2014. And when we zoom in more and more and more, we end up with cake. Now, this is, of course, an analogy. Who here has ever made a cake in his life? By show of hands? Okay, great. So not that many people. I thought the food I have here is great. So why do not many people know how to bake cakes. Anyway, what do you use when you make a cake? Anyone shout? Eggs, milk, okay. But what's the basis? How do you start working on a cake? You use a recipe, exactly. Now, that is actually the source of what I want to talk to you here about. We use a recipe, and a recipe that's often handed over from generation to generation and improved each time a little bit, right? If you have to make a cake without a recipe, you'll burn a few, or it becomes too dry, or just burn the complete kitchen down, as I heard that Josiana and Eldisa did in an Albanian pub a few years ago, almost set fire to a kitchen. So the whole idea of a recipe is that you use a structured approach, a step-by-step approach that has been developed by others in previous generations and improved each time. And that's actually what we need to do with project management as well. What we noticed in 2014 is that many people use ad hoc project management, which in essence, it's not completely wrong. You can manage a project ad hoc way, like you can bake a cake in an ad hoc way, but it will take you much longer, it will cost a lot more researches, and your failure rate will be a lot higher. So it's important that we learn from others' experience. So that begs the question, well, in 2014 there were a lot of project management systems already available, and to be honest, very good ones. But why did people still go back to ad hoc project management? And there's actually research about that, and it shows that even though people knew structured project management, they still did not use it in their real-world projects. And the main reason Frank already highlighted is that the issue is with implementing project management. So you can pay a lot of money to go to a course, you learn best project management, best practices, and then you go back to your desk and you try to implement it, and it turns out to be very difficult. The reason for that is that it's really hard to tailor a project management system to your needs. So when P3 Express was designed, one of the first things we said was, we need a system that is minimalist. A system that does not require the upfront tailoring. So if we have this graph with, like Frank already mentioned it briefly, but I'm going to explain it a little bit more in length. If you have effort on the x-axis and time on the this as, then in maximalist systems, you need, before the project starts, you spend quite some time on tailoring the system, deciding which templates you're going to use, in which form, and that takes time and effort. And that's often where it goes wrong, because we all like to have lots of data. And when we decide to use a project management system, we typically overestimate the amount of documents we need. So we spend a lot of time on tailoring it, and we don't often do it right. And obviously when the project starts, we adjust. If you use a minimalist system, you don't have that upfront tailoring, because there's nothing to remove. It's already the bare minimum you can use. And then when you start your project, you add what you need or you change what you want, but you don't do it upfront. So what we actually see is in the community, people who learn P3 Express go home immediately, implement it. Will it be perfect? Probably not, but at least they implement it and they have a step-by-step approach to follow. So we knew it needed to be minimalist. And another important part is that it needed to be open. P3 Express is free to use for everyone. You can go to the website and download it. You can use it, but even more, you can adjust it to what you want. You all saw earlier that it had the simple activity notes. What we often see is companies downloading it and adjusting it to exactly what they want, adding or removing the activity during their project. And you're allowed to do that. And that seems obvious, but it is not. Many of the existing project management systems in 2014 were private. They were protected by copyrights, meaning that you could not change them unless you paid the owner. P3 Express is open and licensed under Creative Commons. If you want, you can even download it, change it, give it your own name, and sell it. It's allowed. But the reason we do that is because it's a volunteer-driven organization. Everyone who works with P3 Express should feel that he co-owns it and doesn't donate his time to a private organization that can profit from it. So it is important that it's open, free, Creative Commons licensed. It took a few years, mid-2016, to develop the first version, and a few years later we added the guiding principles. As standalone principles, the nearly universal principles of projects. So back then, the idea of modularity was born. The fact that you should be able to use every OMIMO module as a standalone issue. For example, if you use another project management, portfolio management framework. If you use Scrum, you can still use the nearly universal principles of projects. Or you can still use P5 Express. It needs to be compatible. Again, the idea is it needs to be freedom respecting. If you don't want to use P3 Express, but want to use P5 Express, it should be possible. We need to respect that freedom of choice. And then a really important step is the EU recognized the issues in a little bit late, as usual, in 2020, nearly 2021. And they started to fund P3 Express significantly. And it's back then that we started to see really, really big growth in P3 Express because we were able to use the channels of the European Commission to promote P3 Express. We released a new version. We released a flavor of P3 Express for really small projects, under 7 people. And OMIMO was founded based, as Nader already mentioned, on the terms open, minimalist, and modular. So that's the history of P3 Express in a nutshell. Now, if we put all the modules on the scheme, you already also saw this, we developed the 5 layers of management. And at the moment, we have portfolio management in P5 Express. In project management, we have P3 Express, micro P3 Express, and nearly universal principles of projects. So that is what OMIMO has developed. Now, it took us a long time to develop a certification program for the OMIMO modules. And the reason for that is we didn't really saw a point for certification in the beginning. But the community really started to, well, make some noises that they really needed a certification for their employers. So I think it is now in 2022 we launched P3 Express Practitioners. A P3 Express Practitioner is a certification program that really shows that an individual can use P3 Express in real-world projects. Some other certification programs offer like a more basic level of understanding, a foundation level, that shows that you're aware of the principles. We don't have that for P3 Express. And the reason is, if you know P3 Express, you should be able to use it. That's the whole point. So we only have a practitioner level. If you learn P3 Express, you need to be able to use it. And for that, OMIMO works together with an external examination center that gives them the ISO compliance that is needed. So that's the organization I represent, Certain. We're an independent examination and certification institute, and we work for OMIMO to do their exams. Now let's say you want to achieve your P3 Express practitioner certification. How do you do that? First of all, you study. Makes a lot of sense. That's not rocket science, but how do you study? That's important. So there is a network of accredited trainers. Accredited trainers, it's not a commercial model for OMIMO to make money. It's actually, accreditation for trainers is free of charge. The only goal of the accreditation program is to make sure that we identify those trainers who have proven excellence in their training. So how do we do that? We have surveys and questionnaires for students to fill out after training, and if they're all good, the trainer can get accreditation. So if you're interested, there are 2 accredited trainers here, PMable and some individual trainers as well, who have achieved the accreditation. But it's not needed to follow a course. You can also self-study on the website. You can download the manual or even the online manual, and you can take the project simulation game. Online. So we have, I think it's about 50-50 people who self-study and 50-50 who take online courses. The exam, of course, then there's a code of conduct. We want all our accredited, or all our certified individuals to follow the basic human rights and be inquisitive about project management, yet critical. And then there is an exam. The exam is a multiple choice exam, but it is a practical exam. So it won't ask you, give me activity 20 of the P3 Express framework. That's not how it should work. It gives you real cases and asks you how, as a project manager, would you respond. It's a practical exam. It's an open book exam, so we definitely won't test specific vocabulary and so because you would be able to look it up, but it really tests the way you estimate how to do project management in specific scenarios. And after that, you're awarded the Peter Express Practitioner Certification. I know that some organizations have doubtful recertification policies, so I quickly want to highlight that for Peter Express, the recertification is up to you and it's not charged. So if you want to recertify, you'll receive a free exam every year and you can update your certificate if you want, but you don't have to. The certification is valid for life. However, as you can see here, it is assigned to the year you've received it in. So if you want to update your certification, you can, and Peter Express offers a free exam to recertify, and by my knowledge, the only framework that actually does that. And I want to end with this, something that I really, really believe is that project management is really a life skill. It's not that if you are not a project manager that you don't need to be able to learn the basics of project management. And it's something that I don't see many students here in the room. I thought it would be more students, but I really, really always advocate for students to learn at least the basics of project management, because no matter in what job or function you will land, some basic project management skills will always help. So voila, that's it. If you have any other questions, I'm happy to answer.
Do you want the video right now?
Yeah, we actually have a short video of the community, the global community, saying hi to all of you. So if the technology works, which at the Innovation Centre I expect it will, then we will see the video now. And if not, someone can sing a song in the meantime.
Or I'll just say the fact that, as you said, project management is a life skill. And in fact, I just remember at the manual where it presents the project manager professionals, it says that project management isn't just a management position, but it's a change in career. And that's why we need to implement it and to get more advanced in this type of field where, of course, every one of us has to know more. So let's take a look at the video now.
If you can, please count the languages
Albania
you
is in
understand.
there too, so.
Count the languages you understand.
Xin chào, mình là Nhi đến từ Việt Nam.
Hi, I'm Williams and I'm from Britain.
أنا مها بنت نور الداري من المملكة العربية السعودية.
I am Pavel Ioannis from Lithuania.
Cela from Istanbul, Turkey.
Ela Kuzinska, Poland.
I'm Alfred from Nigeria.
Hi, my name is Sina and I'm living in Finland.
Minsk, Belarus.
Slovakia. Malta. Sudan.
Catalonia.
Jordan. Belgium.
I am a user and a contributor to all OMIMA modules.
Использую, провожу тренинги, а также вношу свой вклад в развитие сообщества АМИМА.
أنا جزء من مجموعة الأشخاص اللي جابوا P3 Express على الأردن.
To ja jeden to prečo som sa ako osoby preniesla na slovenský a český trh.
من سفیر پیتر اکسپرس در ایرانم و در ترجمه تمامی ماژول‌های اومیمو
مدرب معتمد في إدارة المشاريع المبسطة P3 Express.
Com a voluntària de projectes d'economia social i solidària, crec que el P3 Express pot aportar molt per millorar el nostre èxit и eficàcia.
Ще използваме P3 Express методологията за управление на задачи, свързани с голям проект, финансиран от Европейската комисия за създаването и развитието на най-голямата водородна долина в Източна Европа.
Hiện tại team mình cũng đã và đang áp dụng phương pháp quản lý dự án tối giản này.
من خلال استخدام منهجية P3 Express استطعت التجسير بين تصميم المشاريع التنموية وتنفيذها.
I use the tools and the techniques of P3 Express to help my team members to get ready from day one on project.
أصبحت أطبقها في جميع مشاريعي الشخصية والغير شخصية.
We switched to P3 Express as our main project management system.
Për manualin P3 Express për me smartësi me PMable.
I use these modules in business small company.
My organization and my projects
to focus on what matters the most. It provides a roadmap for project implementation.
نصنع التحول في إدارة المشاريع.
So So the sound was a bit wonky, but if you counted well, I think there's over 20 languages in this video, which shows you the reach of P3 Express. There is one more person I would like to thank especially, and we actually have an award for him. It's a very valued member of our community. He has contributed to almost all Omimo modules, and he's an accredited P3 Express trainer. In that training, he has received excellent scores, and for that, Sevan, if you would like to join me on stage, we have an award for you. Frank, can you join me on stage? You can present your award if you want. Yeah, let's fix your trousers, yes. Okay. So, congratulations, Sevan. There is a certificate of appreciation.
Thank you. Hi everyone, I'm Sevan. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you for inviting me and thank you for this certificate of appreciation. For me, it's a pleasure to be in this ecosystem or family, whatever you call it. I enjoy it. I have a full-time job already, but I also teach P3 Express. Almost every day I have something to do with it, like maybe I'm translating something or preparing a training or talking to people most of the time. And it's very good for me to receive this appreciation. Thank you very much to Frank, Alexander, and Nader for, as I said them yesterday, for changing my life in a good way, in a positive way. And thank you for being here and sharing this moment with me. Thanks.
Thank you, Sevan.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
So thank you, Alexander. It was marvelous. So now it's time again for Q&A sessions. Do you have any questions or feedbacks?
Oops, I was already almost gone. But I think it was clear.
With the P3 Express community.
Okay.
I have enough voice, I think.
So actually, I think the best thing you can do is email info@omimo.org and explain a little bit more about yourself, what your ambitions are, or what you would like to do in the community, because there's lots of different positions that you can take. And they will be happy to have a call with you or to give you more information and get you involved in the community.
Thank you, Alexander. Thank you, Eldisa.
Yeah, exactly. Or you can contact PMable, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Thank you all for your attention.
Thanks, Alexander. And now, just to make it more clear, real-life examples of what PMable has been doing these past 1.5 years. One of our services is training B2B, and we have trained, including me, because I started as a practitioner, in fact, at PMable. We have trained 20 practitioners. So we have prepared a short video just to showcase all of the practitioners trained by PMable.
Management stars, discover the faces of our P3 Express practitioners, leading the way in project success.
them an applause. This includes internal and external practitioners because we tend to learn and to fulfill it near our organization, so internally, and then we tend to give these trainings externally after, of course, we have implemented it by ourselves. Now it's time just to let you know and give a short detail about all of the presentations that the first session has been done. The presentations of Nader, Frank, Alexander, but also all of the presentations of other speakers will be downloaded and uploaded by PMable as a post-conference activity. That's why I invite you to keep updated all of the informations and plans post-conference. We are going to spam by Elisa's email, but still, just to let you know that everything will be uploaded too, so you do not miss any of the information and insights done and given by today's conference.
Second session, that's about research and regional impact. Our next session focuses on project management in research and innovation, a crucial area where structured project management drives breakthrough and progress. It's time to welcome Alba, Cela, an executive director at the Albania Institute for International Studies. She will talk about management of research projects in the region. It's time to shine.
Thank you so much. I take the slide. It's okay. Good morning, everyone. I am very happy to be in Pristina, in Kosovo, and every time I return, I learn here new things. That's why I come back, actually. And today, the first thing I learned is that it's a very good idea to open a conference with rock music. And I will do this because as a think tank, we do many academic conferences. They're not the most interesting ones, especially in the beginning with the opening remarks. So the rock music is my first lesson learned from this event. So thank you for doing that. But Kosovo is a rock country anyway, so it fits you guys. Thank you so much. My name is Alba, Cela. I've been working for 14 years at this think tank called the Albanian Institute for International Studies. We call ourselves a think tank. The government calls us a non-for-profit NGO because a think tank, it's not a nuance that can be accommodated so far in the legislation, but what distinguishes us from hundreds, perhaps even thousands of NGOs that are now active in our country is exactly our focus on research. We try to make research, if not the central part, a very important part of all the projects that we do. And for that, we have to continuously raise funds. We have to continuously think strategically because there have been some trends and some developments, especially in the last years, that, to be sincere, have made our work a bit more difficult. And I'm sure you are quite familiar with those difficulties as well, no matter the field of operation that you are in. The think tank works mostly with two topics, EU integration and foreign policy. Foreign policy being actually the area that we are a little bit more specialized in, as EU integration refers to the work of almost all the NGOs in Albania, but in all the candidate countries, really. The difficulties that I have observed, I am just a director for 3 years. I've started from being a simple research assistant, going to project coordinator role. Now I manage my team. I do less research, which doesn't make me very happy, more administrative work, but it comes with the job. What I focus is on difficulties and how to steer my team and assist them to overcome these difficulties. And the first one is that research is often understated. In the recent years, we notice, even from the donors, even from the stakeholder community of decision makers, that there is a focus on facade, on promotion, on PR, on advertising, on how things look, and not what's inside of them. Research, in that sense, is more about content, it's more about quality, it's more about designing a policy. Of course, it doesn't have value if you don't communicate it properly, but first you need to create something in order to communicate it and not rush into the PR frenzy before you have a quality product, just as in a business. Think tank challenges is no research for its own sake. I was listening to a podcast and there was another think tank director and she said, For some years in the EU, research is almost a taboo word. You have to find synonyms for it. I'm doing assessment, I'm doing mapping, I'm doing this and that. Well, you are using research to do all those things. So I understand that the focus is on the research being applicable, so not just sitting in a shelf as a book, as a report, but really providing some policy recommendations, suggestions to those that have to design policies and make decisions. But let's not kid ourselves, it's the research methodologies that we use in order to create these policy suggestions. One other very observable, and I think even here in Kosovo, is that some of the donors in our region who used to fund research, even in the golden times for research's sake, are retreating. And I'm not just talking about obvious suspension of some US administration funds, but even other donors. Some are guided by the principle that the region is slowly moving towards the EU, although we who live here understand much better that this is a nuanced process and that it does not fulfill the needs that we have, just these milestones. But even like strategic donors, for example, let me give you the example of Albania. Switzerland is slowly decreasing the programs and the funds for the country. Other countries, other German political foundations, which used to be our trusted partners for research projects, are reconsidering their priorities. And we have the artificial intelligence coming in the midst of all difficulties, shaking all of us up and making us to think now that we are out of the comfort zone, because you can choose to step outside the comfort zone, but you can also made to be thrown outside your comfort zone, how we should really embrace these difficulties and changes in order to stay active, but also stay beneficial to the community with the impact that we try to bring. For this, I have identified a couple of characteristics that now research always transcends borders, because the topics cannot be just confined to one country or one nation. And also, in terms of donors, now we have new ones which require a regional perspective, not a national one. After many years that in Tirana there was no regional platform or mechanism, now there's the Western Balkan Fund, there is RICO, the Regional Office for Youth. So there are specific organizations that can support our operations, that can support us to keep the lights on, as Eldisa said, but also to move the train along, because you need both of those to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And they require you to build exactly a regional consortia, require you to build networks, to identify partners, to build trust, and to move together and not alone. And also the EU integration is opening up some new opportunities. We need to find our path in the midst of these opportunities, because it's not always very automatic how you can benefit from them, and it's better to start slow. Research now is defining the categories of the organizations that can do it. It used to be very automatically that only universities have the professors, the academic staff, they know the methodologies, they have the characteristics, they can do research, but now everybody is engaging even in academic research. In addition to think tanks, there are media organizations that are government agencies and departments who are in charge of designing strategies. And sometimes when you get all these together, you can have a successful consortium and you can have a successful project, and that's what I want to give an example with, that the Albanian Institute for International Studies is engaged in the last years. It's our first Horizon project. Horizon is considered as a little luxury in the research community because it does allow you to engage in academic research, it gives you the proper resources to do it, and it gives you a very supporting group of stakeholders that you have to move along together. And here in this consortium, as you can see, we are working together with universities, but we also have an institution like the Ministry of Interior in Albania. Trust me, it was a surprise for them as well to do research, but they are adapting quite well to the challenge. And media organizations in Italy and in Bulgaria. And the topic of the project is actually artificial intelligence and its impact on democracy, how deepfakes, of course, we know the negative effect of them, but we could explore also some positive use of the deepfakes for democracy, for development, and for education. And building this kind of consortium, making use of the diversity of the expertise that each partner brings. Some bring the depth of the academic knowledge, some bring the good ideas of how you can apply it, and some others bring the great ideas of how you can communicate it. And this is how actually you can successfully, let's say, manage even large-scale projects. I had one more, but it's okay. I want to conclude with emphasizing 4 skills that I think will be very decisive for organizations, research organizations, think tanks, if we are to survive, but not only survive, but thrive in this new environment full of unpredictability and difficulty. And I'm very eager, actually, to see how the frameworks that were presented today, P3 Express and others, can build upon the need for these skills. I think, first of all, we need to keep rigor, have the standards in place to carry out quality, accurate research, which often gets sidelined by the need of speed. But this is where we have to keep our foot in the, really be determined to preserve the rigor of the academic research and combine it with creativity, learning from all of us, learning new methodologies, being open to new perspectives, and invest a lot in networking. Networking is becoming the most precious asset that any organization can have. And I am very eager to explore how the framework can emphasize these skills and actually assign the development of these skills to members in the organization. Thank you very much. I'm open to...
Yes, before we close the session, let's ask the audience, do you have any questions regarding the research field and project management? Yes, please, can you pass the mic?
Ilir Kishimori speaking. I just wanted to ask about the project that you mentioned with Horizon. I just wanted to ask, how do you deal with the portfolio management when you don't really have experience with projects like in big scale, like that one that you mentioned before? How did you prove the committee that your project is worth giving a chance? How do you manage this part?
Thank you. Actually, we are a partner in the project. The lead partners were University of Amsterdam and University of Utrecht, so the main convincing work was done by them. We contributed to the writing of the project, bringing our expertise. We actually did have previous experience, not exactly to the scale of this project, but very similar to the amount of work and financing that would be given to us as a partner in Albania. We had done several projects about disinformation before, how disinformation leads to radicalization and extremism, and that was our asset that we could prove to be a valuable member of this consortium. We also help with the networking to get on board the institution, which provides an added value because they can take the project results and apply them in real life in decision-making community. As for your sub-question of the programs, we try, within our limited resources, to keep actually projects categorized in programs. We have EU integration, foreign policy, and democratization. And we have found that that really helps because then the team can take the results from the successful projects and present them together, and it creates a profile. And it's like that that we have identified ourselves, for example, that we are best at foreign policy, and that's our unique value. Whereas in the other programs, we are still competing with others. I hope that answered the question.
Any questions left again? Okay, Alba, thank you so much for your presentation. Now, let's use Frank's technique. Are you enjoying the conference? Yes. Are we being bored? No. Should we move on? Okay, so now is the presentation of Geri Ballo. She is the CEO of Made in Arbëria project. It's a project that she's implementing by project management practices, so she will dive more into what this project is about.
Thank you. Thanks.
Enea, please give it to her.
Okay, so I had a special training session to use this, so now I'm capable of it. Okay, it's a great pleasure being here. Pristina is a town rooted in my heart, and I'm happy to be here as a diaspora woman grown up in Italy. And it's Italy, the country where this project starts. Italy is the country of culture. And among other beauties, we have a very special gem which connects us all, and it's the Arbëria community. So for few of you maybe don't know about Arbëria, they are descendants of Albanians who fled to Italy among the 15th and the 18th century to escape Ottoman invasions. And they are settled in southern Italy. These are their communities. And they managed to preserve the language, Arbëria language, traditions, and it's a very rich community who produces crafts, agri-food products, and they are also very beautiful. So these are pictures that I've been taking the last 10 years. I spent the last 10 years visiting the communities, encountering them, knowing, for example, this here is Sicily, Hora Arbëria, Piana degli Albanesi. And when I was little girl, I tend to think that they were mythological creatures because they are in all our stories, but we don't meet them normally. But then I met them, and they are actual persons, and they still are continuing these traditions. But they are also struggling in day-by-day life in one of the poorest regions of Italy. So I think that we have to connect with them. And one of the opportunities is to open a window towards the world for their incredibly good products. So, okay, these are pictures that I've been taking, and I'm very bad at taking pictures, so that is because they are beautiful. So this is where Made in Arbëria starts its journey. So we created the brand because we wanted to honor their heritage and to contribute to build an economic infrastructure to sustain this culture, these traditions, and to sustain actual people who are remaining in, I want to show them to you, then I will go back to the platform. For example, these people, these are friends of mine, and they are producing wines. For example, this is recognized as Love Food Presidium cheese. And so this is made in Italy products. They have all the quality of made in Italy products, but they have this added value for us, for all of us. I mean, Albanians worldwide, but not only. I have a lot of Italian and European friends who are very interested in knowing and getting the chance to approach these products. And yeah, for example, and they are very young. We have these very young entrepreneurs who choose to stay, and it's very difficult because there are no job opportunities, and they choose to create the job opportunities and create their own small businesses. So they are also very open to digitally be connected with other territories, with other projects, and they are very open to be involved as well. And it's incredibly touching when you see them that using our same words, for example, diaf to mean cheese, and all other words that we share. And some of very renowned products of Italy are being produced in Arbëria communities. For example, Donna Fugata wine, who is one of the most well-known wines in Sicily, is produced in Contessa Entellina by a family who's been settled there for generations now. So what are we doing with the platform? Okay, we're doing this. We're doing a lot, actually, because first of all, it's an e-commerce opportunity to open up to the world and to sell the products. But it's a lot more than this. Hopefully, I explained it. And so we are telling their personal stories, these family stories, these territory stories as well, and their connection with language, culture, traditions, and of course tourism, because as I first showed, okay, sorry, no. Okay, so Made in Arbëria I already showed. I wanted to show South Italy, but I'm not taking it, I'm not finding the caption, but it's okay. So South Italy is one of the most beautiful places in Italy. You have beautiful landscapes. You have like for particular opportunities for slow tourism lovers, and you have also the communities. So tourism is one of the things that we are, the paths that we are building. And documentaries, because we want to show, we want to interact with the people, their stories, and we want to show them. And festivals, because festivals are actually, as I said, this is an economic infrastructure because we want to foster this culture, we want to sustain it and promote it, and festivals are part of this. So these are let's say that connecting the Arbëria community with other communities and with other countries and with persons who might be interested in knowing them is our aim. And so we want to support job creation, local artisans, and we are now meeting, involving them. And when I talk about Arbëria, it's not only in South Italy. They have moved in North Italy as well, in other countries as well. And during last century, they also emigrated to North and South America, to Australia. And for example, in 1 week, I will be in Buenos Aires and will be in touch with Arbëria community there. And they are still maintaining the language in these countries, forming associations and wanted to connect with us. So we are clearly focusing on community building. And for example, the things that I heard here today are very useful for our projects. And I'm looking forward to hear more of that because it's clearly like a community project. So I think it needs to be enriched by all of you, by all the people who want to be part of it. So it's more than a platform, as I said. I will very much like it to become a movement to preserve, celebrate, and promote this rich heritage. So I'm asking you if you want to join in this journey for all your suggestions, comments. We can build it up together. And this is our website. You can explore it. It will be online in just a few days. And thank you very much.
For any one of you that has any question related to this project or wants to know more from Geri?
Oh, okay. Yeah, if somebody has questions, I will be very happy to answer. Or maybe we can chat later about it. I'm sure. Thank you.
Okay. Of course, and do not...
Because I know why actually this should be added. Well, I think that not only for
for me as an Albanian from Albania, but also for Albanians from Kosovo, because we are all Albanians, you should know that the Arbëria are not only in South Italy, but they're also in Croatia, in Zara. And this is not only a project. This is a mission. So when Geri spoke with me the first time, I actually got I got very emotional about that. Because business and projects are not only about money and KPIs and quantitative results, but is about impact. And if these people for 500 years have maintained language, tradition, and all the values of the Albanian community, besides we are in Albania, in Kosovo, in Macedonia, Montenegro, or Greece, or in diaspora, and they have had actually their chance, but their duty done. Now, in the digital area, when all these young people from these areas are going away because there is no job anymore, there is no more opportunity, in the digitalization area, our ICT companies can do some impact there. For this reason, this is not a project, this is a mission. And I thank very much Geri for this opportunity to share the idea with us, together with Geri, Giovanni Latanzi, and Volare. It's an Italian association. So we have an Italian. we have two Italian entities. They are contributing to maintain our tradition, still alive. For sure, as Albanians, we can do more. So I needed to add these words because this is a mission with impact for their culture to be spread to the world, for their products to be spread to the world, to get internationalized, because we have the capacity with e-commerce today to do that. So, thank you.
Thank you, Edisa. To be honest, these kind of projects and, like as we say, practices in project management inspires us too, as a young generation, to see projects that like keeps the tradition going on. It's even though sustainability for us too, to keep moving it forward. So thank you for the presentation. And now we move on to the next session, which Enea is going to present.
Thank you, Denisa. So as we move on onto our next session, we will be talking about AI and fintech in project management. These sectors are reshaping industries, and effective project leadership is to navigate their complexities. So welcome, Ortenca. Welcome for talking about navigating project management challenges in the age of AI. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. With some of you I have met during last night, and I explained that it's my turn back here after 20 years. I came first in Pristina when I started working in the banking system. Actually, I'm an advisor in an EU project. And now, after 20 years, I'm coming here to share my experience in project management, but in a different perspective. We are today gathered to discuss the development of project management in an era that is defined by really rapid technological developments. What we are facing these days is that AI term is everywhere. Therefore, somehow, we as project managers or project team members are somehow feeling afraid if we are threatened by this. Should we consider it a luck? Should we consider it an opportunity, or should we consider this AI as a threat? But today, I will take you through the main challenges, opportunities, and strategies that we as project managers, team members, can use in order to improve and to facilitate our work in project management. Let's start with understanding some impact that AI has had so far in the project management. According to the annual global survey made by Project Management Institute in 2023, it was found out that 21% of the respondents were using frequently or at least often AI tools in the daily project management tasks. While 82% of senior leaders that were participating in the survey replied that they are of the opinion that AI will have some impact, at least some impact in project management. While 91% of the participants, of the respondents, believed that AI will have at least moderate to significant impact in the role of project managers in the future. AI currently is promoting and is improving the way how project management is done. It is automating tasks, it is improving decision-making through predictive analytics, and is enhancing efficiency through a different way of collaboration and communication. But now, all this kind of development that is seen like a positive thing is facing some challenges. And I can group these challenges in three main groups. Initially, we have the data-related challenges that are linked to availability and clarity of the data. Also, dynamic project environment impacts the data reliability and availability, but also the update that the data needs. And one of the major challenges regarding the data is security and privacy risks. The other main group of challenges is linked to human and organizational challenges. It is mainly linked with the resistance of team members to change. So they are not very keen, or they are hesitant to change or to adapt changes that are coming with AI in the project management, in the way how project management is doing its tasks using AI tools. Also, it is another challenge with humans, over-relying on AI that might impact not only, let's say, limitation of creativity, but also might risk to limit the critical thinking of the project managers and team of the projects. Also linked to the organizational challenges, another key point is how to measure the return on investment and to explain it like in figures, what will be the importance for the stakeholders to invest in these AI tools? What will be the tangible value of these tools? And the biggest group, the other biggest group, is the technical implementation challenge. This is mainly linked to the problem of using AI tools to get incorporated with existing project management platforms. This is linked also with lack of expertise that AI, we know that is something that is developing. What is now known tomorrow is something old and fashionable. While as we conclude, one major challenge that project management is facing with AI is the ethical part. So the fear of AI being used properly or not. But with the challenges, luckily, people are working on the solution as well to make our life easier, because as we know, AI is making our life easier. But how to make the integration of these AI tools in our platforms. Initially, we need to overcome the resistance that the teams are having. As project managers, we need to explain to the teams that AI tools are not a substitute. They should be considered an ally to promote and to learn new skills. Also, it is very important as a strategy and as an opportunity to take the best from AI tools, is to choose the right AI tools that are linked to the unique needs of each project. So not just to take an AI, just to be an AI tool, just to be fashionable and just to be on track with a competition, but we need to know what kind of AI tool we are using. And also, it is very important to integrate systems of communication with the teams, because the technical part is done by IT guys, by IT teams, but the resistance and the way how these AI tools are implemented are part of all the team members. Therefore, there should be clear communications, and there should be clear presentations to the staff to explain that usage of AI, as I mentioned before, is not to substitute anyone, because the human mind is very precious because it's unique. The way how every human brain is thinking and is resolving problems is not equal, and that is impossible to be done by AI. I don't think, maybe I'm too pessimistic, but I don't think that AI will be so, let's say, so highly developed to reach the brain, a human brain. So this is, but in order for the team to understand this, project managers should establish clear communications on the purpose of usage of AI tools, and also be careful on the way how it is introduced to existing systems, to existing platforms, as well as existing and all team members, because they are more resistant, let's say, to the new developments. And one major way of, let's say, managing and keeping confidentiality and integrity that are a major point to usage of AI tools is that, first of all, project managers should understand the ethical parts of these AI tools that they are using. They should promote and establish protocols that carefully manage to choose people with high integrity. And HR team is very important in this part, because they are, let's say, the first line of choosing the right team players for each project. As I said, project managers should be updated with the successful case studies of AI tools usage. Of course, AI tools are new. So for everybody, there is some space to learn new things, and it's a very long way that is waiting for us. We are just in the beginning, so lots of errors, lots of risks will be faced. But in order to predict somehow them, and also to try to avoid the biggest damages, let's say, in our project work, we need to be really careful. Today, we are using AI to improve automation of the tasks, to make predictive analytics that is helping us to take better decisions and faster decisions than before. But we need to continue to be proactive in learning, in continual learning the development of AI and how they are impacting the project management industry, let's say. We can be careful to use agile and hybrid models that should be involved and evolve in a way to, let's say, to adapt with the new AI tools effectively. As a sum up, we cannot stop the, let's say, the development of AI. It is now a part of us. Initially, we used to have these mobiles with buttons, and when we went to Android mobiles, we were a little bit, oh, what is this? Smartphones, what is this? Smart TVs. And we were a little bit hesitant. Now, AI is much more complex because it needs careful protocols of security, because not everybody, this is the main risk, that not everybody might use AI tools for the best. And therefore, a careful monitoring, a careful management of every step of AI tools implementation in the project management will help us in having a successful, let's say, a relationship AI and project management in the future. Thank you very much. If somebody will have some questions or some, let's say, some also expertise, experience to share, you are more than welcome to.
Okay, thank you very much for this excellent presentation, an excellent topic covered. Just to introduce myself for others, I'm Artan Veseli, and I work for Austrian-based company, mainly focused in healthcare. But the topic you covered, AI in projects, is quite interesting. So I would go back to the challenges you mentioned, especially in the human and organizational part. The topics you mentioned, resistance of the employees or the staff. We know the challenges are not just how people will get it to embrace to the new environment with AI, but also the security features and what data we are sharing, what confidentiality information we are sharing with AI, and how that can be used and so on. So maybe I would like also to involve previous speakers in terms of resistance to change, how we are preparing the teams who are working in projects to embrace this new environment working with AI. So maybe I would like to propose for the future conferences to cover some topics on change management, like a proper and structured methodology on change management, how to prepare teams and how to integrate change management into the project management. Because these are two topics that cannot be divided or looked as a separated topics. I think these are quite integrated. As we know, project management, by definition, is temporary endeavor to create a product, service, or result, whatever. So organizations initiate projects to develop a new product or to organize a merger and acquisition or to open a new facility or production facility whatsoever. So whatever the reason is, this result will create an impact. And this impact will have, let's say, negative impact for someone or positive impact for some. And this negative impact has to be managed. And that's why it's change management. It's, let's say, a structured methodology that makes people embrace the impact and the usability of the project. And you also mentioned the return on investment as a challenge. And of course, this is a challenge, and I think the return on investment is not gained by delivering the project to the customer, but when the project is being utilized, or the results of the project are being utilized, where the proficiency of the staff is there, and the project and the results of the project are being embraced. So these are quite important topics. So in terms of AI usability, I think that change management can play a crucial role in preparing people how to use the system. And here we can bring, for example, there are different methodologies, but one methodology that is widely being used now is ProSci, which has this individual change management perspective, and is a tool called ATKAR, which is awareness, like raising awareness, what is the new feature, what is AI, why there is a need of AI, and all this stuff. Preparing the team by extensive communication, then raising desire, knowledge, training people how to use AI, and ability, enhancing abilities of the users, how to avoid sharing any misleading information with AI tool, and also avoiding being impacted by the hallucinations that AI can bring, because there are a lot of hallucinations that AI bring, and if we are not experts, we can just take as a granted those information, and they can mislead. And then the last block in this ATKAR is reinforcement, how to make people create a sustainability use of this. So I think change management is an interesting topic, and I strongly encourage you for future conferences to bring more insights into the change management and how to integrate change management with project management.
It was great advice, suggestion. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Artan. Now we have another. No, we do not have. Okay, that's fine. Thank you, Ortenca. And what is the year 2025 without the topic of AI, artificial intelligence and technology? So thank you, Ortenca, for bringing that topic in today's floor. Now we move on to the next session. I would like to welcome Stavri Piti, the CEO of Arbëria Factory. Arbëria Factory, in fact, is an ICT and BPO service company based in Tirana. And Stavri will talk about the challenges and complexities about fintech management.
Yes. Okay. So, first of all, I want to thank all the panelists for their very interesting presentations, and of course, all the staff for their amazing work on organizing this event. So, a big up for them. Now, I know you are a little bit tired, so maybe you want to go to lunch or have a break, but unfortunately, you have to listen to me for the next 10 minutes. So, I promise I will be short. As Denisa presented me, I'm the CEO of Arbëria Factory. We are an ICT company based in Tirana. We count today around 80 people. We were founded 10 years ago as part of Arbëria Group, which is an Italian ICT company that works in banking and insurance sector. In these 10 years, we worked together with Arbëria Group on developing fintech projects. And today we will talk about the challenges we face every day in these kind of projects. So, which are the main challenges? Here I listed some of them, and of course there are many more. First of all, regulations. As I say, we work with banks, European banks, and you all know that Europe is famous for regulating everything. And unfortunately, these regulations evolve and change every year. So our teams need to work hard every year to adapt our softwares to implement this new regulation. And of course, part of this regulation, there is a famous law called GDPR that contains inside a list of articles that explain how to manage sensitive data. And working with banks, we have a lot of sensitive data, and it's a big challenge for us to ensure security for this data. And we need to be fast to the market, because as I used to say our market is like a train moving forward with a speed of 300 kilometers per hour, and you don't have time to take a break because you are going to lose this train. And of course, there is a lot of customization, because if you go bank to bank and see our software, it's the same software because we do the same thing, but it will be different from one bank to each other, because every bank has its processes implemented in-house. So we need to customize our software to implement these processes and to satisfy the customer needs. So all these changes, everything difficult. Which is our approach? You can choose to go home or to work on these challenges. Of course, we choose the second. Innovation. We are an ICT company, so innovation is part of our DNA. And of course, part of the innovation is the artificial intelligence, as the colleagues said before, is the main topic of our days. Is a very powerful instrument, and I think in the next 5 years it will be more and more powerful. AI agents will do everything for us. Will do that in a fast way, and of course with a high quality. So for sure we are integrating them, and we need to integrate them in the future. And these results we receive from AI, we need to interpret them, and we need to take decisions. But of course, we need to make decisions based on data. We must be data-driven, and not to follow our perceptions or sensations. And we need to optimize resources. In our organization, we don't have machines, we have people. People are our asset. And how to optimize them? Optimizing people, in my point of view, is to create the right teams, to put people in the best position to express the best of their selves. It's like a soccer team, no? You need to put the player in the right position, so to have the maximum efficiency from each of them. And as I said before, we have a lot of customization, so we must be client-centric. We need to have continuous feedback looping with our clients, so to align the product and to have a final result that is satisfy the customer needs. Soft skills. Okay, we say artificial intelligence, beautiful, powerful, fast. In the future, will do everything for us, for sure. But we need our people, of course, because they will go forward with our company, and we need them to train in the soft skills, because we need from them to share ideas, we need from them their creativity, and we need from them to be critical thinking. And doing that, they must communicate, collaborate with each other, collaborate with the client to take leadership and to make good decisions. The youth factor. Our Mundi average age today is 27, and as I said before to some of you, if you take off me and 2 or 3, of course it will be less. Young people have energy, they're open to change, but at the same time they have little experience, so they need to be guided, they need for our support, and of course they need soft skills. Armundi every year spends a lot of time and a lot of money on training, on continuously training our teams in these soft skills, because they are a very important part of project management. And the last slide, I want to mention the models we use to implement our projects. Of course, you know them, the traditional one, water flow, and the agile models. I prefer the agile, but I think when you start a new project, we have to choose the right model, because there are different scenarios, there are different contexts that agile models are the best ones. But at the same time, you need to be agile. Our company is agile, but the client must be agile. If the client is not agile, you have to change strategy, and maybe you have to choose another model, an hybrid one or a traditional one. At the same time, there are some projects that to be implemented in the right way, we need to choose traditional ones, because agiles maybe is not the right one. I'm thinking now about, I don't know, application management projects, which is a sequential process is more useful than an agile one. So, conclusion. The main objective of a project manager is to develop a software, in our case, that satisfy the client needs. And this must be done inside the cost we forecasted at the beginning and in time, because time cost. At the end, we need to create profit. And doing that, we need to introduce innovation. We need to re-engineering the processes, modernizing them. We need soft skills. We need to invest in our teams, create the right teams. And these teams must communicate, collaborate with each other, with the client. And I think this is the only way we can succeed in developing these complex projects in fintech and insurtech sectors. This is all. Thank you very much. As I promised, I was fast.
Thank you for the amazing presentation, Stavri. Now let's see if you have any questions or feedbacks regarding Stavri's presentation.
They want to go to lunch.
That's true.
But before we
Yeah.
of course, if Lisa has questions.
I'm curious. So, even now the actual situation of cybersecurity GDPR compliance, how is it possible in project management planning in the fintech to solve these issues, these concerns, cybersecurity GDPR compliance?
It's a good question. Okay, I think for GDPR, there is no solution. There's not only a solution. I think during the project development, we have to choose all the protocols, all those instruments, all the processes to make possible to ensure security data. But of course, I think it's impossible to have 100% secure data. But we have to do our maximum to ensure them, because it's very important for our clients to have data secure.
Okay. Thank you, Stavri. Thank you, Stavri. But just before we go to lunch break, I just had 2 more details to give it to you. We have prepared an exclusive benefit for all of the participants and attendees, and we have prepared a QR code in here that will be presented just in a few seconds for a discount, 30% discount for our trainings that PMable gives in collaboration with P3 Express. So in that way, if you can code it right now and scan it, you can benefit from our training. It's like a form of a registration link, so you can get registered there. And then, of course, you will get the chance to get in touch with us, and then we'll start the other preparation of how valuable this training is from PMable to you.
And also, digital certificates for attendees will be issued to everyone who had attended the event via personal emails. So before we start our last session, Denisa will also talk you through this.
Yes, I would like to ask you to scan this once again, because from the previous problem, if you can see, because the issue is fixed now, so I guess that it opened. It's like in a form of a registration, so okay. So I'll invite you all to scan it, and next we'll get in touch by your emails that will be written down there.
Maybe important to note is that PMable is an accredited training organization. So what that means is that they, over the years they've been training P3 Express, they've been awarded accreditation based on the results of their students. So it's really important to understand that accreditation means that the track record of their students has shown that they successfully trained them, which is not common in the industry. Accreditation is typically bought. Here it is earned. And the questionnaire filled out by all the students that's organized by Certain has been filled out positively by all students. Now this is something dynamic. So it means that over the course of the entire 2 years that they have been training, they have always remained at high level. If not, the accreditation would have been redacted. So it's really like a certificate of quality, that accreditation level here.
So thank you again. And let's move to our last session, which will talk about the next generation. Our last session highlights the critical role of youth empowerment and the impact of project management certifications on career growth. Now let's welcome Professor Besnik Skendere, who will talk about PM certifications and frameworks, transforming people and project ecosystem. The scene is yours.
Okay, hi. It's good. I'm glad to be here to see all of you. I hope you would have a good lunch, and I will try not to be boring. We would have some very nice presentations. So basically, most of the things were already covered by my previous speakers. So basically, what I will speak today. I'll speak about the importance of project management certification frameworks and what is the impact on the project success. Before I start, I'll introduce myself. I'm working at UBT, it's University for Business and Technology. Basically, we are providing training and certifications for IPMA and for Prince2. So basically, we are accredited center from IPMA and from the People Cert. All of us will see the project phases, from project initiation till the project closure. However, in my opinion, this is always wrong, because according to the best practices, we always have planning, we always have execution, and control is something that is happening during all the time. Why we should have some standardized project approach? So basically, do you think that one size fit all the projects? I don't think so. This is the reason why we also are facing a large number of failed projects. However, it's better to have one standard than to don't have it all. Why? Because we will have standardized knowledge, we have increased credibility, but we will also have impact to have a better project success. What certifications are available today in the global market? We have PMP certification, we have Prince2, we have IPMA, we have also some Agile certification like Scrum and the others. However, which one should we use? If you have more experience, you are an experienced project manager, then much convenient for you is maybe to get PMB certifications. If you are working in IT projects where you are controlling changes, you are not accepting every change, so basically you are not going through Agile methodology, then maybe you can use Prince2. While IPMA is different certification. IPMA is more competence-based. However, we also have Agile. But my question is, can we use, for example, Agile approach in construction? So these are the topics that we will discuss later. However, in global environment, most of you are working also, you are managing projects remotely, you are working in different countries. So which certifications you should have? PMP is mostly recognized certification. It's mostly recognized in the United States, it's some part of Europe, so it's very good to have. But what if you are working in UK, in public sector? Then you need to have Prince2. While if you are working in Scandinavian countries, in Europe, maybe you should have IPMA. But however, IPMA have 5 levels, while Prince have 2 levels. and in addition, PMP have only one level. New changes which they are facing, all these certification providers, what they are implementing now, they are all implementing agile approach. So basically, Prince 2 had announced that from the next month, they will provide training and certification in Prince 2 Agile Project Management, which have complete different approach from traditional Prince 2 certification. Which method should we use? It all depends from the industry, from team size, and from customer requirements. Why this matters? Because you know the projects we are conducting for customers, for organizations. So if we want to, can we impose our own solution for an organization? I don't think so. Because it's experience, is their project support office, is their procurement system, so everything is linked. We have organizational ecosystem, since every project is run in an organization. However, we also have a project ecosystem. What we are meaning with the project ecosystem? In most cases, the project managers, you will not have opportunity to choose your own team members. But you will be in conflict with other project managers, and other project managers, they will not give you the key staff. The best people, they will keep for themselves. So your challenge will be, how can you manage this project ecosystem? Who will be your team members? Who are the stakeholders? In order to have successful project, you need to manage people. Is very difficult. And as a project manager, if you have opportunity to select people, then I will suggest you to take people who can manage themselves, people who have experience with cultural differences, and people who can use technology. If you can find these people, then yes, you can have them on your team as a project team members. However, it's not everything. It's not depending everything from project manager. It's depending also from the team members. So, who are the people which they will be working with you? Who are suppliers? Who are the customers? So you need to manage all of them. Then you have different approach. How you going to lead people? If you are part of the organization where you are managing, then okay, you will follow your organizational culture. You have two approaches how you can lead. You can be servant leader, or you can be transformational leader. Again, in the end of the day, this is theory, but in practice you will have different challenges. You can transform people. We all know we have quarter steps. We are all familiar with this. This is good in theory. But the challenge is how we're going to implement this in the practice. And we need to use emotional intelligence in project management. Do we need to be good with the people? When we have some issue with the project staff, there is a question, is this a project issue or is it a personal issue? My opinion is that it's not only the role of the project manager, but you need to have the right people. You need to collaborate, to have leadership skills, management. How the certifications are impacting on the team success? It depends from organizational culture, from a project that you are running, from identified risk. It's better to have one model that you are using than to not have at all. So basically, my opinion is that it's good to have some certification because you will have standardized approach, you will have some flexibility, but in the end of the day, you need to manage people. So, as a conclusion, what I can say, that we need to reinvent project management. Even that now it's trend, everything to go in Agile, is the Agile approach answer for all the projects? I don't think so. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Professor, for your topic and for your presentation. It was really invaluable and very insightful, I guess. So, yes, it's that beautiful time where we ask you questions. Does any one of you want to ask Professor related to certification programs topic? Maybe I can ask something about for the, let's say, if from a scale, how do these programs, certification programs, framework, benefit from investing in project management certified employees? So how companies can benefit from these certified employees? For example, let's say all of us maybe that are tending to be project managers in the future or are already project managers right now, related to the recruiting part, maybe they want to tend to get some project managers that has been certified in these methodologies, let's say. How can the company benefit from it?
Well, each company should have certified staff, at least in some project management certification, since when companies are conducting projects, it's not everything to the project manager. We need to have a new position as a project specialist, because in one project you can be as a team manager, in another project you can be a board member, in another project you can play a role of project support or project assurance. So the benefit is to have certified people, because then you can use them in multiple positions. This is my opinion. And one advice for young people that are here is that work in projects use any opportunity to work in a project, because you will gain some different skills. For example, when you work in a project, maybe you will work something with the finances. You will learn. So basically, you will increase your capacities, and you will have competitive advantage.
Thank you so much. That's a valuable advice. So, Bruno has a question.
Yeah, basically it was very interesting what I heard today, and what I had remembered that previous speaker had mentioned that the manual will have 45 pages. So basically minimalist approach. What is the trend in the project management is tailoring. So what most of people are doing, the mistake, people are taking like a heroic approach to project management. So I will conduct project management, I will follow all the procedures, I will do everything according to the book, but at the end of the day, the project will fail. And I see that this new approach, new certification, is basically something which all project management community is speaking, tailoring and customization of processes and standards of project management according to the customer's need and the organization's need. However, in order to have the successful project, we need to have in mind that project is conducted only to deliver the product. So we should always remember that why we are there. We are there to deliver product, not to conduct a project for sake of procedures or manuals.
And also, Alexander wants to add something more.
So really quickly to have the difference between the methodologies you mentioned and P3 Express. So first of all, PMP, the PMable guide, that's more an encyclopedia, right? It contains all the tools and techniques existing in project management. But it doesn't offer you a clear step-by-step approach. So that's what we call a guide. P3 Express is a step-by-step process, a methodology. So that's where the difference. PMable guide is a guide. P3 Express is a methodology. What we often see is that the two are used together. For Prince2 is a methodology, is a step-by-step guide, but it's maximalist. So it contains, for every step, a huge description how you should do it. For P3 Express, it's much minimalist, so as we heard this morning a lot. It is the same, it's a methodology, but it's minimalist. So it contains less documents, and if you want to add on that, you have to do it during your project, not before. It was the case with Prince too. And then IPMA is a competence base. So it doesn't give you a step-by-step approach. It gives you the skills and you need as a project manager, but it doesn't give you a step-by-step approach. So again, more it's a guide, P3 Express, a methodology. Is that an answer? Okay.
Thank you, Professor. Let's. And now I just wanted to give a short detail just for after the sessions that we have next. Just a short clarification about the Project Management Conference from PMable. We focus on quadruple helix, which is a method where we combine all of our, let's say, the company sectors where we have representatives that are CEOs and managers. Also, we do have representatives from society and also from the various industries. And then the fourth part of this quadruple helix is representatives from government. That's why this session is going to be presented by Mirza Berdita, who is the project manager specialist at Municipality of Shkodra. And she will talk about empowering the next generation, capacity building in project management for economic growth.
Thank you, Denisa, for your presentation. Thank you. I will just thank you, Eldisa and Frank, for inviting me here today to be, and very happy to be here among experts and professionals to share my experience and thoughts in project management and how the capacity building in this field is very important for youth today to gain those leadership skills, and how this can tackle the local economic growth. So I am Mirza once again. I am a specialist for project management at the Municipality of Shkodër for 5 years now. Simultaneously, I work at the University of Luigi Goracucci teaching the project management there. And this 2025 finds me as a winner of a startup from GIZ, the program Circular City Labs Shkodra, which has intended the circular economy topic with a $50,000 grant to start my own entrepreneurship in this field. So this is my whole experience in project management, and I hope that during my presentation to give some also real-life examples how the youth should be more capable and more aware and more informed about opportunities all around. So beside the innovation technology, which for me these 2 days were very insightful to know about, maybe I give another aspect of project management and many opportunities out there. We just need to be aware and exploit them throughout this capacity building and information that we need to search a little bit or dig a little bit for ourselves and improve also our local economy. Why am I so focused for going local is not that only I live and work in Shkodra, but also the first project that I was implementing in 2020 was about localizing the Agenda 2030 and the Sustainable Development Goals. The main proposal or the main objective of this project was the importance of going local, because the change comes from the basics. So the politics or the change should come from being the lowest part or the smallest part, then go towards higher governmental strategies, etc. So my presentation will be mainly in 3 pillars: capacity building for youth empowerment and why is this so important, the common challenges youth face in accessing grant opportunities, and the project management as a force for local development. Why is capacity building for youth empowerment? I have listed 4 reasons. We can foster innovation and create jobs that contribute to economic growth, the skill development, equip us with essential skills such as leadership, budgeting, strategic planning, and risk management. Since we are both countries, Albania and Kosovo, very countries affected by migration, these grant opportunities and these skills can reduce the motivation to emigrate in search of better prospects, but make us invest ourselves in our hometowns and our home countries. Youth must be educated in writing techniques, proposal development, and financial reporting to exploit available funding opportunities effectively. Mainly, my everyday job is to write application and project proposals, deliver them to different donors, international organizations, or ministries, and gain funds, and then manage those funds with transparency and all the regulations that are required for successful deliverables. I have chosen this picture. I have shown this also to my students, and one of the questions here was that why projects fail. And this is one of the reasons. It's called the dead horse theory. And it is because mainly the people or the organizations deny to accept the reality and still manage to give funds or time and resources to a thing that maybe it has ended. And I want to make a parallelism or maybe a metaphor with the youth here. Not that the youth is the dead horse, of course, but we are aching. And we need more action, real action, for us to be empowered and to exploit real opportunities in our own countries. But meanwhile, the government, civil society, our parents only base it on strategies, theories, promises, and we need to take real action. So I have chosen a word from UNICEF that we expect now. We expect more than words on paper and promises, because empowering youth is key to a resilient future. By equipping them with knowledge and skills, we foster leaders who can tackle complex challenges and build safer, sustainable communities worldwide. There are a lot of opportunities out there. I have listed some of them, which are in a time range from November 24 to March 25. There are only a few of them in Albania, actually. And for example, the municipality of Shkodër has opened a grant scheme for youth for 8,000 euros to build your own business or your own entrepreneurship. There were only 25 applications. And I think this is a little number compared to the youth or compared to the info sessions that we made around Shkodër. The Circular City Labs Shkodra is the one that I won. It was $50,000, so five grants by $50,000. And there were only 31 applications. This is a little number too, taking in consideration the amount of money that you can take for free and open your own business. Sipërmarrje .gov.al, it's a call from the Ministry of Entrepreneurship in Albania. It opened a call with 3 lots. If you have just an idea, you can win $10,000. If you are a startup from 0 to 6 months, you can win $20,000. And if you are a startup from 6 months to 2 years, you can win $30,000. I don't really know the number of applications, but if you go and see the list of the winners in many calls, so because they open every 4 or 6 months, you can see always maybe the same startups that win the same. So they are inside the ecosystem and they have more information. Our goal is to smooth this consumption and maybe smooth in geographical manner this consumption. So not only just tackle the capitals like Tirana and Pristina, because here in Pristina I am also seeing very successful initiatives like this Innovation Centre Kosovo, for example, but also the local cities around need more to be empowered and give a reason the youth to stay there and invest themselves. AIDA.gov.al, it's an Albanian Investment Development Fund, had a fund from 10,000 to 25,000 euros to invest in their in the businesses. Also, the Challenge Fund has the same lots as here, so with the 3 lots, and there were 150 applications in all Albania. So these are all opportunities in a range of 5 months. I didn't mention some others from Ministry of Economy and Innovation, for example, but there are a lot of opportunities. So what are the challenges that the youth face and really don't get to these funds? Is that young people feel insecure about the quality of their education and qualifications, because maybe only their qualifications are based in their university degrees, and they maybe don't feel so comfortable or to apply in this complex, let's say, some of them are complex application forms. Lack of awareness. So I don't know if the info session goes directly to them or the promotion of these calls are made in the right way. But locally, I see the youth, since I work at the university, they ask me anytime that where can we see this or how we can reach it. So they don't have the information and they are not aware of the opportunities around. And the feeling that things are pre-selected, lack of trust. And I think that like in Albania and even Kosovo, we have this corruption idea always in our mind, that even when the sponsored poster crosses our Instagram feed, we just roll it and say that, no, it's no chance that I will win this. These 3 reasons, challenges below, are from the aspect of the donor, so lack of information, networking barriers, complex eligibility criteria, lack of an integrated platform which exposes all the opportunities. I will stop at the 6th challenge because as project managers that we see a problem in the territory, we try to create a vision and maybe give a solution. And the solution that I have thought with my students or in my everyday job would be an integrated grant access platform where we can do the research job for the youth and put all the information in one platform where they can see time to time all the different calls that can be available and eligible to them. So compile a wide range of funding opportunities from various sectors, including government, private foundations, non-for-profits, and educational institutions. Then users can search for grants by criteria such as age, education level, location, field of interest. They can see application deadlines and the sum of the grant that they can win. And also maybe in collaboration we can integrate the assistance to write these application forms or training to be capable, because project management is a life skill that opens new doors. Then the last pillar of my presentation is the project management as a force for local development. These are some of the main fields that always are opened for funds, and the project management skills can be so needed about to apply and manage tourism development projects, agricultural projects, sustainable urban planning, and renewable energy initiatives. Thank you.
Mirza, thank you for your valuable presentation. Now it's time for the best part, for the questions. Does somebody has a question or feedback that can give related to this topic?
To be honest, I would have given a short feedback, of course, and appreciation for your presentation and also for all of the information that you recently gave it to me, because Mirza is not just a speaker of our conference, but it's my professor at the University of Shkodra. And at the subject of project management, I really find some valuable insights and, of course, some valuable information and presentation, the way that she presents the lectures at our university. So I really appreciate all of your initiative and all of your presentation. So,
Thank you, Denise.
and also the training part that she mentioned, hopefully and thankfully, I'm one of the practitioners that I'm getting trained of how to write projects, and that's so important for every young or every youth, young people that wants to chase and learn more about this field. So thank God that we have all of these project managers that help youth and young generation.
Thank you, Denisa, for your valuable comment. Just to add one last thing, because we mentioned a lot that train that goes around, and I want to compare the train of European integration, actually, that we are waiting so much for it, and it's important for us to be ready and to build our capacities that when that train comes around, we are ready to hop in. And how we get ready to be skillful and capable of exploiting all the opportunities that it will bring to us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mirza.
Thank you, Mirza, for a very interesting presentation. I do have a question in regards to the opportunities that you presented. One of them was listed, the Challenge Fund. Can you please elaborate further? Who is the financing after that, and how does it
in Albania works? Okay. Yes, the Challenge Fund is funded by EU for Innovation, which are German donors in Albania, and they open a cohort of calls in summer and the one in in January till March. So they give grants, but also they give assistance to the ones that win those, the first concept note, let's say, and those who win the concept note then gets to write a whole project proposal, and the lots are slided in three lots, so 10,000 for one who gets only an idea or it's just in the initiation phase, 20,000 for those who are 0 to 6 months registered as a startup, and 6 months to 2 years they get 30,000 if they want to expand their startup. But of course, maybe each one of these opportunities comes up with a selected field. So it was for tourism, for IT, for artisans. So not all the opportunities are open for every idea, but they get channeled because of those strategies or of what sector they would improve or strengthen in that kind of year that they have prepared the plan about.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you again, Mirza. Thank you, Vesa.
We are not over yet.
Just wanted to ask, all these opportunities that you mentioned, can individuals from Kosovo use these opportunities, or there are limitations on these?
There are limitations actually about Albania, but I have given some parallelism because I think that the same situation is in Kosovo also, because here is also GIZ, is also IOM, is Helvetas, are Swiss, are USAID. So each one of these open a cohort of calls anytime, or then just you have to be cautious and attentive to get them on time. Thank you.
I love the discussion.
When we talk about money, that's what happens. Money moves the world.
Okay, you mentioned that there are a number of, let's say, individuals who benefit mostly from these calls and from these grants.
Mm-hmm.
What is a monitoring mechanism that makes sure that the funds are appropriately used and not certain individuals benefit many times, and then actually the return on investment it goes in the real destination and place?
So I wasn't talking maybe about favoring always the ones, but for example, if you are part of this ecosystem, you are more attentive and you have the information. That is why you apply in many calls, and there is not a rule that if I apply to GIZ, I don't apply to EU for Innovation, for example. So
you can benefit from both.
Benefit from both, but inside the one call, for example, at the GIZ, I don't have the right to apply for 2 years. But after 2 years, I am still eligible because they want to expand the funds to other organizations or individuals. Some have these rules, but some don't.
so you can apply each cohort and you can win. But the point to that was that being part of the ecosystem, maybe that should not be, that should put this rule, so to just smooth or expand the opportunities in territory, because Tirana and Pristina are always more productive because we are suffering also from, let's say, a brain drain from these local cities, because the excellent students tend to go either to Tirana or go abroad. So of course that capital city and metropoles tend to bring
Are
more.
these grants conditioned to achievement of the success, for example? Is
Yes,
anyone
monitoring,
the
yes,
progress of that?
yes, they are actually. Thank you.
So thank you, Mirza.
I'm staying here. Thank you. Thank you.
So to wrap up this conference, we invite our last speaker of today's conference, Vesa Sheo, to the scene. She's a regional coordinator at Regional Challenge Fund, who will be talking about youth empowerment through innovative project management in VET providers. Welcome, Vesa.
Hello everyone, once again, since I didn't have the chance to meet and discuss with all of you. I'm really happy and pleased to be here today, especially since I'm going to share, let's say, some very good news. And in addition to Mirza, that was more focused about, let's say, opportunities, funding opportunities in Albania. I'm going to share the information about funding opportunities, not only in Albania, but also in Kosovo and in the region as well. The topic that I'm going to discuss is, as we are more or less in the same session with Besnik and Mirza, empowering youth through education. But what exactly is that and how we are doing it through the projects that I'm currently involved, more exactly Regional Challenge Fund and Kosovo Challenge Fund. I'm going to present it now, but bearing in mind that it's the last session and more or less I know that it was a long day. You are maybe a bit boring. I'm going to make, let's say, a presentation a bit more interactive, and especially since I'm a fan of, let's say, having those interactive presentations, just feel free to interfere me and ask questions whenever you think that you need further explanations that I'm going to present. So I'm curious to know that if we have, I'm pleased to see that in the audience we have youngsters. Do we have any, let's say, of the persons here that has not been involved in any of the projects, no matter in the school, university, or maybe also at the workplace?
If you're talking about project management, I'm actually training to be a project manager from an office assistant to a junior project manager. It's been maybe 3 weeks now, theoretically, and the practical part.
Okay, thank you.
This is very interesting for me.
Yeah, thank you very much for sharing. And actually, the idea is that no matter you have been involved before or not in the project manager, the presentation is dedicated to all the audience, and especially actually, let's say, to give you more hints and trigger you about forcing further and, let's say, discovering opportunities for the future and more stronger career in the project management. So what exactly will be the presentation about? We will actually emphasize the crucial role of the VET providers. VET, the acronym just explained, that stands for Vocational Education and Training Providers. That is not about only teaching technical skills to the youth, but it's about building skills for the future professionals. More or less, we are referring to education as the toolkit for the future and for a successful career. In addition to that, I'm going to present about the projects that I'm currently involved, as I mentioned, Regional Challenge Fund that operates in the regional level, and Kosovo Challenge Fund that operates in the national level, and actually what's the importance of aligning the education system with the labor market needs, and especially bearing in mind here the rapid changes and advancements that are happening, and with a special focus in the ICT sector. All of this that I mentioned, I'm going to, let's say, mention and shortly introduce, bearing in mind the limited time of presentation, how we are using the project-based approach to successfully implement the projects. What about, what are RCF and KCF? Before starting, once again, let's have that interaction together. Have you heard before about these two projects, RCF or neither, KCF? Okay, yes, of course. We have Besnik here that actually I'm pleased that he's here present with us today. And he is one of the awarded project and consortia as part of the RCF. None of the others haven't heard about projects. So happy that I'm going to present them more. Both projects actually are a financing facility designed to increase youth employability and boost competitiveness of enterprises in the whole 6 countries of the Western Balkan regions. Here referring to Albania, Kosovo, North Macedonia, Montenegro, Serbia, and Bosnia and Herzegovina. How is this possible? It's through funding investments in selected projects that are implemented through mandatory partnerships between VET providers and companies. So the target group stands to vocational training institutes and cooperative enterprises. Here to mention that in regards to the vocational training institutes or VET providers, I'm referring to the professional schools at the upper secondary level, vocational training centers, as well as tertiary level, referring to faculties or universities that has the professional technical profiles. The projects are opened and do support public as well as private sector. What economic sectors we do provide through the projects? We're open to all economic sectors, even though to the announcements that I'm going to make in the upcoming slides, there we have agile a bit to the upcoming calls. And in where actually regions we are present, as I mentioned, in the whole Western Balkan regions, and what's the project that we do have. The total budget for RCF is 64.3 million euros that is financed by the Ministry of Germany, more exactly Ministry of Economic Development and Cooperation, and co-financed by Swiss governance, represented by SDC, Swiss Development Corporation, with an additional 10 million euros. Here at RCF, as the regional partner, we have CIF, that stands for the Joint Chamber Investment Forum, joint initiative of the regional chambers. And actually, it is dedicated to delivering grants, as I mentioned, to the target groups. In addition to the RCF in Kosovo, we do have an additional project that is financed only by the Ministry of Economic Development and Cooperation, by the German government, that is Kosovo Challenge Fund. And let's say the difference with the RCF stands that the local partner that we do have is the Ministry of Education of Kosovo, of course. In Kosovo, the budget is only 7 million euros, comparing, of course, to the larger budget of the RCF. What's the duration of the projects? At both projects, we started in 2021. Initially, RCF was planned to be ended in 2025, but bearing in mind, let's say, the interest that we got from the audience and the large number of applications that we have received so far, the project has been extended to the 2028, while KCF is opened until July 2026. Now, let's say, leave the numbers speak for themselves and show what exactly we have supported through the projects. In the regional level, we have supported 99 projects that covers the joint project between 105 VTIs in collaboration with 528 partnering enterprises. It involves 4,200 students per year, and the dedicated, or let's say better, the committed investments to those projects is 44 million euros. But what exactly we are supporting? We are supporting investments in vocational training institutes that are dedicated to the infrastructures, more exactly, let's say, such as renovations, adaptations, or even extensions of the annexes. We are supporting new equipment in order to have the modern laboratories in the schools, as well as we are supporting advisory and training services, such as training of teachers, training of company trainers, updating curricula, and so on. What are the sectors that we are supporting through the projects that we are financing? Top five, three sectors in the regional level are mechanical engineering and metalworking, ICT, trade, hospitality and tourism, electrical engineering, and health and social care. This corresponds to the occupations that are supporting in line with the sectors such as CNC technicians, web development, software development, medical nurse, electrotechnicians, and so on. But what exactly I know that since let's say the majority of the audience is from Kosovo, what exactly we have supported in Kosovo? Let's say now a quiz question. Do you have an idea, even though you haven't heard about both projects, how much we have supported here in Kosovo through both projects? How much funding we have supported in Kosovo through both projects? Any clue? Let's say how many euros? A hint? In RCF was 75 million, while in KCF it was 7 million euros. I mean, since you're asking the question, I would assume quite some businesses, and you spend quite some money on it. I just feel bad that I actually didn't slide.
Okay, so now I'm going to show. And it's really quite some money. And when I'm taking to how much we have spent, I'm referring to the direct investments that we have committed to the vocational training providers in the joint projects with the partnering enterprises. In total, it is 12.2 million euros that we have committed for investments in Kosovo in both projects. It involves 28 schools from the public and private sectors in joint partnership with 101 partnering companies. The sectors that, let's say, are more dominant are manufacturing and ICT, followed by construction and health care. But, yeah, of course.
Do you have any KPI to measure the outcomes of these investments?
Yes, of course. As part of the projects now, actually, I'm going to show that we do use different tools, project management tools. And one of the main KPIs, as you can see, are number of the students that are involved in the practical parts in the schools, as well as in the exposure of the workplace. In addition to that, we're going to have the number of the students that are going to be trained as part of the projects that we are supported,
number of schools, and so on.
Okay, but since one of the main objectives was employability as well.
Exactly.
Do you measure the employability of those students?
Number of students that are going to be employed after the completion of the trainings.
So you have the numbers, right?
Yeah, of course. Actually, it's part of the mandatory documents that each application has to be listed once they get awarded. And once we agree during the negotiation phase, it's part of the funding agreements that we do sign with the BTS.
While I understand the project is still ongoing, do you have any number right now how many students have already employed from these?
The project has started in 2025. Some of the projects has started the implementation. Yeah, now we are in the phase of procuring the investments that we have been awarded, because in addition to giving investments, we as a project also take care of the procurement of the goods. So we are in the phase of procuring the goods, and let's say by the middle of this year, we are starting also with the implementation phase. And I believe by the next year, why not in the next conference of the PMable, I'm going to show the real statistics of what we have achieved so far, and the number of students that are being employed through the projects that we have supported. You're welcome. So, and actually how we are making all of this possible. Of course, all of this is making possible through using project management practices. Otherwise, it's going to be, let's say, a lost space that how we would manage all this kind of projects awarded, how to track them, how we're going to monitor them, and all these sites. So through using project management practices, we are kind of aligning what is the need by the market and what exactly we are going to deliver. In addition to that, we are paying, let's say, also from my experience that I do have as a project manager, it's very crucial the communication that we have with the stakeholders. Here referring to the key ones, but also to the all related one. Crucial to our projects is to maintain, let's say, a healthy and successful collaboration between the schools, partner enterprises, and the donors that are involved in the implementation of the projects. But to have a more impactful and lasting projects, of course, the innovative project management comes in. And how we're doing it through our projects, it's about we do have structured implementation processes within the projects. And in addition to that, we have digitalized let's say, a majority part of our process. We do have an internal software which is dedicated to the grant management system that tracks the awarded projects, monitor them, and provide us with real data about the progress of the projects. In addition to that, we do have the digitalized portfolio project management, and of course there's a tracking tools that we do use for the collaboration with the key stakeholders. So it's about the main core, and actually also the tagline of the projects that we do have, that it's about building skills that gives to the output of transforming businesses. How we are doing it, actually, it seems that the presentation that I've sent over to Denise wasn't the last one that I prepared. I did some changes, and now I'm happy to share with you that we're going to have the 4th call opened within a few weeks, more exactly on 7th of April. The next RCF call is being opened, and it is, as I mentioned, dedicated to all sectors, all public and private VTIs in partnership with companies to apply and get awarded. What we do support, the funding amount varies from 150,000 euros to 500 euros. The investments, as I mentioned, goes to works, new equipment, and training and advisory. But here I would like to emphasize that actually the direct investments goes only to the VTIs, referring to the VAT providers. Why are there, if you're asking the companies are needed to give the students the opportunity to be exposed to the workplace. So we're going to have the combination of 3 aspects. it means that what we're doing through our projects is supporting students, first of all, in schools with theoretical technical skills. In addition to that, we are providing modern laboratories where students will have the opportunities to, let's say, allow their technical skills in the practical settings, and all of this will be combined when students will go to the partnering companies and there exactly to be exposed to their future workplace. So with combination of these three aspects, we are going to have, once the students graduate, let's say, job-ready professionals, where the students actually are ready to work. At the same time, companies, as the final beneficiaries, will have the skilled professional employees. One of the challenges actually that companies as of now are mostly facing, and all studies showing, is that the lack of the skilled employees. And that is why actually we are going to, let's say, give the companies. In the end, just I would like to emphasize that RCF is not about only transforming skills and building skills and transforming businesses. By transforming businesses, I'm referring a meaning to having them more competitive and innovative. But in addition to that, we do support also three major aspects that stands for inclusion, meaning that we do make our project that we do support more exactly profiles open and attractive to all genders and social groups. We do support green and digitalized practices by investments we do support, but in addition to that, we do organize different awareness campaigns as well as online and on-site events, conferences to emphasize and to raise awareness about green practices. And in the end, it's all about increasing and strengthening the regional cooperation between all the 6 countries. So I would like to thank you once again for your attention. If you have any questions, as I said, I'm very happy. And I would kind of, let's say, conclude the presentation saying that investing in the education is not only teaching students, but it's about building their skills and building our future in order to have stronger companies, which reflects to the stronger economies of other countries. Thank you.
Thank you, Vesa, for your presentation. Once again, for the Q&A session, do we have any question regarding the presentation that Vesa had? Okay, let me pass your mic, Josiana.
Hello, everyone. First of all, thank you, Vesa, for your presentation. I would like to ask about project management, as this conference is about project management, and we lack a lot in the involvement of project management in the business, but also in the educational part. So I would like to know how the project management can be integrated in the vocational education in order to better prepare our students to fit better the job market.
Actually, a very good question. And here I would say, let's say, my own experience that we are having directly with the schools through the implementation of the projects. And one of the major challenges that we're having and do schools lack, in addition to not using, let's say, tools of the project management, such as very simple tracking tools, or as part of P3 Express, there are Trello or other tools that would be really helpful. There's also a need for the improvement of the communication. And when I'm referring to the communication, let's say the proper communication that should stand in related to the donors as well as to the students and so on. It is something that actually I'm happy that I'm part here, and it will be why not useful for, since we're here, P3 experts to organize some trainings that should involve teachers, as well as why not the trainers in the companies that do support projects in cooperation with the BET providers to enhance better in these aspects.
Thank you so much, Vesa. And since we are at the P3 Express topic and the community that we tend to expand in Albania and Kosovo, in fact, I would like to present an initiative that we gained regarding the community group. In fact, in LinkedIn, we have opened a P3 Express group. It's an independent user group for Albania, but for Kosovo also. And the thing that how we can join is only via this link, or you can just Google it, just search it on LinkedIn, and I guess only you can join. And every other information or any updates that we can have in collaboration with P3 Express and Cerna will be uploaded there. And we tend to keep it very interactive and to collaborate with each other more because, as we said, we want to build a community of project managers and of professionals related to so many fields, not only project management, but still on very various industries. Yes, so that's something that I needed to clarify. And then, thank you, Vesa, once again. Thank you, every one of you that have stayed until now. I'm so pleased to see all of you and to get to network with all of you. Now it's the turn of Eldisa, of course. Eldisa has to close everything, has to open and close everything. So I'll invite you again for a presentation, but now she will present something interesting because...
I have the perception that my team is making me work a lot. Do you have this perception? Because I'm feeling a little bit like that I'm working a lot.
I'm so sorry.
We can speak after. But anyway, the goal of our meeting today was to actually present project management with the P3 Express methodology, but of course bringing a lot of professionals together. With the project management as a skill in professional today work, but as well as a life skill. But unfortunately, Alexander, I don't know how to cook. Sorry, don't rely on me for baking cakes, actually. Well, what we wanted actually as the aim is to bring community of project management together. Then, for this reason, I think you already know that all the links will be shared with you via mail. We are very good on doing emails, but Fisnik don't spoil why, okay? It's a secret. After 30 years, we can deliver that. Okay, and in the landing page of PMable, we will bring the summary of our attendees of this conference, so we can start and do network on projects and activities that we do, each of us. I will ice break, so I will show what we do, so then you will be, I think, motivated to show on what you do in the landing page, and so the communication will be systematically with our team, so we can implement all the actions to build this community. This is the second conference. The first one we organized in Tirana in November. This is the second one, but the first in Kosovo. So the first time is always the most difficult, but we ice-breaked it. And thanks to you. I'm proud of us, each of us, that we stand till to the end. How we started? We started with, I need some. I'm the worst person to do that. Yes, to work with technology. Besides, we do technology.
You don't look like that.
Yes, you motivated me, but it's true. Very sad true. Well, we started with 5 projects that became 5 business units. This was done because we use project management skills, and especially because you use P3 Express. So we can testify how we actually use P3 Express on building projects that actually became business units. Of course, we are BPO and ICT with innovation and sustainability focus. So this is what we do with 5 projects that became 5 business units. We work with different industries in logistics, in healthcare, micromobility, retail, in e-commerce, with all these brands in these countries. So these are our clients, and when our projects are implemented, from Germany to China to Switzerland, Austria, Albania, Italy, Spain, France, Belgium, Netherlands, Poland, Denmark, and Sweden so far. Of course, the plan and the strategy are to increase with 30% for the 25. This is Bruno actually fault, because every year he brings up with goals that goes beyond, but strangely we achieve them. This, of course, is not strange, and this is not casual. It's, of course, on behalf of work and people that work very well. And this is where our collaborators live today. As you see, from Albania to Italy, Kosovo, Austria, Switzerland, North Macedonia, Romania, Suriname, Moldova, Greece, and Turkey. And of course, here are as well plans to increase and the number of the countries we collaborate with our workforce management. How it's possible to start with, we were just 3 people, starting 4 years ago, but we and only with 3 collaborators, so with 1 project. Today we are here, and only in 4 years. Of course, it is still work to be done, and I think that we are just still in the beginning phase, but our force has been, I think, the most valuable thing that we have applied is people, investing on people, on capacities, but not liking at all the comfort zone, and being curious, and testing ourselves beyond the capacities that we have. So we are curious to know more about what we are doing, how we can network and bring together these capacities even more. So for this reason, I will be very, very actually proactive by mail. But Fisnik, you know why. You should not spoil, because of course this is done with a very great teamwork from Pattyn, Girda, Eyon, Enea, Denisa, Josiana, and Bruno, of course. So everything is done from teamwork. But we are not working only with projects that comes in these industries that I mentioned, from recruitment, talent acquisition, logistic operations, sales, marketing. We are also investing in social responsibility, which is very important, because if we don't grow up the community of our children, of ourselves, of our collaborators, we cannot grow up in the ecosystem. So despite the projects that I mentioned before, despite the project of Made in Arbëria, we as well actually have been awarded as a winner of UN Sustainable Enterprise for the SDG goals 2023. And as well, we have done by ourselves from the beginning the training module for tech recruitment, which is actually quite new in innovation, because people recruit in companies without having the skills probably of recruitment, especially in tech, which is actually the reason why the turnover in the companies is very high, the turnover of the employees. We'll be very glad to share it with you, because sharing actually is today the most important, sharing the information is the most important indicator which can make Pareto rule 20 to 80 function. It's not actually only capacity, it's also gaining and sharing information very fast. Of course, in some strange ideas, we decided that we should invest also in the creativity industries with the topic of bullism, so giving the message of, for the kids, actually, which is the bullism and how they can face with this. So trying to be a company that can invest in the community. And of course, actually, we like to invest in ecosystem and especially in environment. For this reason, Denisa and Antea brought up this idea, book a ride, in the territory of Shkodra. So probably with Mirza after we can speak how they can go beyond on this project. And the newest one is the marketing agency for the research and projects, because I agree with Alba that everything starts from a project. Start from the research to have a good planning and good project. And of course, regarding the technology and AI, what I can say at the end is that yes, project management cannot substitute, so the AI cannot substitute the project management, but the project managers that use AI can substitute the one that cannot use it. So together with the skills of research, technology, but having as well the social impact values in a good networking, as we are today, that we hopefully, I know that we will as well expand beyond, we can do a lot of things, interesting things. So thank you. I did my ice break. I invite you to do the same with your ideas, projects that you do today, but also others. And especially, I will request to you feedbacks, but most of all, critics, because we grow up identifying what we can do better instead of the previous activities that we do. So thank you again.
Thank you, Elisa.
I think, Elisa, that it's your first time that you are so precise with the time. So good job. You're doing great.
Yeah.
And again, it's time to wrap up this conference. Thank you, every one of you. Thank you, all of the attendees. Thank you, all of the speakers. It was an amazing pleasure and honor to get in contact with you and get to plan all of this conference. Of course, thank you to all of the team members. This wouldn't have been possible without your help, without your support. And
thank you, everyone, for your support. It's a great pleasure to have been here with you. Hope to see you again.
It has been a long day, to be honest, so thank you for everyone that has stayed until the end. I hope we keep this momentum going and we thrive and get all together and build this community to expand more our knowledge in this project management journey. So thank you once again, and I hope everything goes as well as you want.